It's time for Brewster Whitecaps baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Here in Bourne for another edition of Brewster Whitecaps baseball as the Whitecaps travel to Doran Park to take on the Bourne Braves. Aidan Doyle alongside Carter Woodeel here on a slightly muggy but a nice day here in Bourne, right next to the Cape Cod Canal. And last night, Carter, the Brewster Whitecaps clinched a playoff spot with an 8-7 win over the Wareham Gatemen. It wasn't the prettiest of wins. They came into the ninth inning leading 8-5. And Matthew Beck struck out Ben Baird with the bases loaded and 2 outs to end the game and pick up his second save and secure Brewster's postseason berth. Now, all the pressure off the shoulders. Now it's all about going into the postseason playing winning baseball.
Yeah, I tell you what, you talked about how it wasn't the prettiest victory for Brewster, but I'm sure they're really happy they were able to get that W instead of giving up those runs in the ninth inning. And for Brewster, it looks like Jamie Shevchik and everybody on the Whitecaps coaching staff is really kind of changing the way that they handle this game. We'll get to the lineup in a second, but it seems like that they're very content to be in the playoffs, and this is what Jamie Shevchik has said all season is just get in the door, get to the postseason, and then it's baseball. Anything can happen.
Yeah, he specifically mentioned 2 years ago when the YD Red Sox, he said, backed into the playoffs. They weren't exactly playing well, just kind of snuck in there as a number 4 seed in the Eastern Division and actually went all the way to the Cape Cod Baseball League Finals and won the Cape League Championship, their second of 3 in a row, obviously winning last year. And even last year, Brewster ended the season on a 5-game losing streak. Chatham ended the season on a 5-game winning streak. But the playoff spot, and they won their first round matchup against a team, the Harwich Mariners, that many thought was probably the best team in the league. Their pitching staff was unbelievable, so you're exactly right. When you get into the playoffs, anything can happen.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there, Aiden.
So quickly run through the lineups here before the start of this game, Military Appreciation Night here at Doran Park. And first off, we'll take a look at the Brewster Whitecaps, and the Brewster Whitecaps, you know, they're pretty outgoing players, so who else to introduce to Brewster Whitecaps than themselves?
Nick Dunn, infield, University of Maryland. Tyler Smith, infield, Western Michigan University.
Chandler Taylor, University of Alabama, outfielder.
Hey, I'm Marty Casas, outfielder, University of Maryland.
Justin Coons, catcher, the Gardner-Webb University.
Christian Molfetta, infielder, Stanford.
Darius Hill, outfielder, West Virginia University.
Zach Gahagan, I play every position on the field except bench, the University of North Carolina.
Devin Foyle, outfielder from University of Kansas.
So that's the Whitecaps lineup. Bradley Spooner on the mound for Brewster out of Saddleback Community College. And Carter, certainly a different look for this Brewster Whitecaps lineup. A lot of guys who Coach Shevchik has used typically more in reserve roles or spot starters, if you will. Guys like Christian Molfetta, Devin Foyle, Connor Smith even. But so now with the playoff spot clinched, it's about getting guys reps, getting guys at bats so that everyone's fresh, ready to go when the games start meaning something again in a couple of days.
Yeah, Jamie Shevchik has never been a manager that's hesitated to spread playing time around when he needs to. I mean, he talks a lot to us about how I'm gonna get a more regular rotation. Guys are gonna have to get used to their roles. But we've seen, you know, even over the course of a game, if a game gets out of hand, he'll empty his bench out. He'll make sure that people get the playing time that they need. So in this situation, after you had a long game where you were able to clinch the playoff spot, he's emptying the bench out again for tonight's ball game to try and get some guys some extra reps.
And on the mound, Bradley Spooner, like I mentioned, the right-hander out of Saddleback Community College, one of the Gauchos out there, making his third start as a member of the Brewster Whitecaps. His first 2, he's gone combined 7 2/3 innings, given up 9 runs, just 4 of them earned, though. He struck out 8, so over a strikeout per inning, and pitched to a 4.7 ERA. What does he got to do today to stymie this Bourne Braves offense?
Well, if you talk to the coaching staff, they talk about his changeup. That's really one of the more important pitches. It seems like Bradley Spooner has the stuff to stick around on the Cape, but the first couple of outings that he's had, he just hasn't quite been able to get into a real rhythm. The first one was that rainy day in Falmouth where it seemed like nobody was really in a rhythm in a strange ball game. And the last time out, he was up against a really strong lineup against the Orleans Firebirds back on July 20th. Only went 4 innings in that game, gave up 6 runs. Three of those runs were earned. He'll be looking to get into more of a rhythm against this Bourne offense, which, let's face it, is not the strength of their team. This is a team that relies on pitching and defense to win ball games. So Bradley Spooner, he needs to go long in this ball game, given how many pitchers Brewster used in last night's game, and it's looking good for him.
And you mentioned 6 pitchers yesterday against the Wareham Gatemen. Paulie Milto only going 2 innings in the start for Brewster. So this bullpen certainly stretched thin a bit here at Doran Park today. But let's take a look at this Bourne Braves lineup, who Spooner will be going up against. Leading off, it's Richie Palacios. Well, let's try that again. Designated hitter for the Bourne Braves. Batting second, Grant Williams getting the start at second base. Lyle Lynn gets the start at first base. He bats third for Bourne. Grant Witherspoon cleaning up and playing right field for the Braves. Jared Triolo batting fifth and playing third base. Jamison Hanna, he's in left field and batting sixth for Bourne. Andrew Freejays at short, batting seventh. Kevin Radzowicz getting the start behind the plate and batting eighth. And Andy Atwood, who made an incredible catch the other night at Veterans Field, got onto the Sports Center top 10. He gets a start back in center field. What are you looking for in this Bourne Braves lineup? And who's the guy, if you're talking to Bradley Spooner, who does he have to watch out for?
Well, one of the guys that's really excellent on this lineup is Lyle Lynn, the man hitting third. Not really your typical third hitter. Doesn't have a home run here on the Cape so far this year, but is leading his team with 17 runs driven in. He's just a guy that knows how to get on base and make life tough for opposing pitching. And that's the sort of guy that Bourne needs more of throughout this lineup. That's certainly the guy that you circle if you're Bradley Spooner trying to get a scouting report on this club.
Yeah, Lynn comes into this game batting .315 on the season in 31 games. Doesn't have a home run. I know you pointed this out to me, Carter, before the game. No home runs on the year, but leads the team with 17 RBI. Just a very good hitter, .358 on base percentage. Doesn't strike out a whole lot, just 16 strikeouts in those 111 at-bats. And this is a Bourne Braves team, though, like you mentioned, Carter, that isn't the offense isn't exactly their strength. You mentioned they rely more on their pitching and defense, so I think it's going to be basically the same MO if you're Coach Jamie Shevchik. Keep the ball low. This is a game where this Whitecaps defense has got to be on their toes. They got to be ready for this one, because if you remember correctly, last time they played here at Doran Park, it wasn't exactly their best defensive showing.
Yeah, it matches up with the need that they have given the short-staffed nature of the starting rotation as well. They need Spooner and the folks who follow him, probably Jonathan Stever is going to be more likely the guy that's going to get a look tonight, to be as efficient as they possibly can. They don't want this game to turn into one of those 3-hour, 4-hour odysseys, a couple of which we've seen this year and one of which we saw last night in Wareham. They want this game to be nice and quick. They want a lot of balls on the ground, easy outs in play, and that matches up with the way that this Bourne lineup tends to operate.
You're exactly right about that. They put the ball in play a lot. They're not exactly a team that's going to drive the ball out of the ballpark. They primarily hit for a lot of average. The leading member of the team, they have two guys with 3 home runs, Andrew Freejay and then Zach Susi, who actually had 2 home runs last night at White House Field in a game where the Bourne Braves beat the Harwich Mariners, which allowed the Whitecaps to clinch their spot in the Cape League playoffs. Well, they're just about ready for the national anthem here at Doran Park, so Carter and I will take a quick break, and when we come back on the other side of the break, it's another edition of Brewster Whitecaps Baseball.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wedeel and Aiden Doyle.
Back here at Doran Park in Bourne, where the national anthem has been sung here on Military Appreciation Night. The first pitch is coming at the home plate, being chased by a nice little golden retriever there, service dog, as part of the home base program. Aiden Doyle alongside Carter Wedeel. Nick Dunn is going to be leading things off for the Brewster Whitecaps. Connor Smith batting second, and Chandler Taylor due up here in the top of the first inning. It's Brian Hohen on the mound for the Bourne Braves, a right-hander out of the University of Louisville, teammate with Whitecaps reliever Sam Bordner so far this year. In 4 appearances, 1-1 with a 3.12 ERA. We've gone 8 2/3 innings, struck out 11, so well over a strikeout per inning. Given up 7 hits and walked 3. What is this Whitecaps lineup, which, like we mentioned, Carter, a little bit different look than it typically seen so far this season? What do they have to do to get to Hoeing early?
Well, they got to watch out for his slider. This guy's primarily a fastball slider pitcher. This is the first start that he's made on the Cape this season. He's been more of a reliever for this team, so he's basically been leading on his fastball and slider throughout the season so far. He's also working on a changeup, though, and that could be something that's kind of a wild card for him if he's able to get that working well. Obviously, he's only thrown 8 2/3 innings pitch across 4 appearances this year, so he hasn't really been able to settle in and get through the lineup a couple of times where you might want to use that changeup a little bit more. So that might be something to work to keep an eye out for Brewster, but that slider is very good, especially against right-handed hitters for Brewster, and there are a few of them in the lineup tonight. Smith, Costas, Coons, Malfetta, and Gehagen all hitting from the right side. They'll have to watch out for that breaking ball.
Yeah, typically as a reliever getting that 2-pitch mix, but now in the starting role, like you mentioned, Carter, the first start of the year for the right-hander out of Louisville, trying to mix in that third pitch, the changeup, a little bit more. Well, Nick Dunn digging into the left-handed batter's box here at Doran Park. Whitecaps in their road teal uniforms, Braves in their red shirt Friday red uniforms here, like I mentioned, on Military Appreciation Night. And the first pitch from Hohen, fastball that misses downstairs below the knees for ball 1. Wind blowing out to center field here today in Bourne. Good opportunity for the hitters to make some damage as Nick Dunn lines this one to the center field. Moving to his right is Andy Atwood, and it's over his head and down. It rolls all the way to the wall. Nick Dunn into second base standing up, and he'll stay there with a leadoff double for the Whitecaps. And Nick Dunn entered the game with a 13-game hitting streak, the longest on the Cape League, and now extends it to 14 games on the second pitch of the ball game.
Yeah, wasting no time there, did he? And he hit that one right on the screws out to center field. I know you were mentioning in the pregame about how Andy Atwood has flashed the leather for Bourne this year, but he couldn't get to that one. A terrific piece of hitting. And now for Brewster, I'm sure Jamie Shevchik is thinking about capitalizing early. That's one of the things he's talked about so often with this team.
He's talked about those first couple of innings really setting the tone for a ball game, trying to, especially on the road, score first before a team even has a chance to get up. It's a first pitch breaking ball to Connor Smith, finds his zone for strike 1. Smith, right-handed hitting shortstop out of Western Michigan University, one of the Broncos. He's appeared in 28 games so far this season for Brewster, .240 average as he nubs this one towards first. Backhanded there by Lynn, throws to a covering Hohen, just in time to get Connor Smith at first base, but Dunn able to move to third on the play. And now with one down and Chandler Taylor stepping in for the Whitecaps, they have a run just 90 feet away.
I'm sure Smith would have liked to get his 5th ribby of the season there, but that's still a good outcome, just getting the ball to the right side. And now Chandler Taylor, a guy who is very good at hitting baseballs to the outfield, can get an RBI of his own if he does that here.
Very good at hitting balls to the outfield indeed. Last night in Wareham, went 2 for 4, had 4 RBI, had a 2-run double in the second inning, and then a 2-run home run to left field in the 5th inning that gave the Whitecaps at the time a 6-5 lead, as the first pitch from Hohen, a fastball that misses high and outside for ball 1. Taylor's home run, his 8th of the season, tied him for the Cape Cod Baseball League lead with Marty Bikina, Griffin Conine, as Taylor sends this one off over the third base dugout and out of play. Count evens at 1-1. Taylor so far this year batting .239 in 31 games. Like I mentioned, the 8 home runs, 21 RBI, second on the team, and his 21 walks tied for second on Brewster with Michael Curry. Breaking ball there from Hohen, in for a strike, 1-2 now on Chandler. There's that trademark slider you talked about, Carter. 1-2. 1 out here in the top of the first inning. Nick Dunn leading off of third base. And the pitch. Another one fouled off over to third base side, so Taylor stays alive, and the count remains 1-2. Taylor digging back in as Hoeing looks into Radzewicz. Now comes set. And the 1-2 pitch. Fastball lifted in the air down the left field line. Moving towards the line is Hannah, but that one will fall out of play as Taylor continues to battle here against Hoeing. Bourne enters this game in first place in the Western Division, 20-17 on the year. Just 1 point ahead of second place Falmouth and 7 points ahead of fourth place Wareham. That Western Division really all bunched up. Just 7 points separate first and fourth. There's that slider from Hoeing. Taylor once again fouls it off. This one towards the Brewster on deck circle, and the count stays 1-2. Brewster, on the other hand, 17-19-2 with the win yesterday, like we talked about. Clinched a postseason berth. Seeding's not quite set, though, for the Eastern Division. As this one misses in the dirt and gets away from Radzewicz. Coming home is Nick Dunn, and he'll score. Nick Dunn scores on the wild pitch, and the Whitecaps take a 1-0 lead in the top of the first inning.
Well, that's not the first time we've seen a Whitecap scrambled home on a wild pitch. Remember, we saw that last night in the second frame when Hunter Bishop came in to score. A terrific awareness there by Dunn. That one did get away from the catcher, but we got a solid brick backstop here in Bourne, so you have to be sure, and he was.
So now a 2-2 count on Chandler Taylor. And the pitch. Fastball, cut on and missed. Taylor down swinging, chased that one up and out of the zone for out number 2. So 2 down here in the top of the first inning, and Marty Costas stepping in for the Whitecaps. Costas today getting the start in center field for Coach Jamie Shevchik. Batting .240 on the season, 5 home runs, 19 RBI. Had an RBI triple yesterday in Wareham. First pitch fastball from Hoeing misses high above the letters for ball 1. Costas, right-handed hitter out of the University of Maryland, originally from Baltimore, Maryland. As a 1-0. This one lined in between first and second and into right field for a base hit. Marty Costas hit that one hard, and he's aboard with a 2-out single.
And he took it the other way as well. Nice job by Marty meeting that one where it was, and still, as you mentioned, Aiden, putting a charge into it. So far, Brewster looks like they're keying in just a bit on Hoeing.
And Marty Costas has been one of the guys who Coach Shevchik has really pointed out, saying this is a guy who kind of came here, bit of a free swinger, struggled a bit, was batting under 200, and over the last week, 2 weeks, his average has steadily climbed. Like I mentioned, came into this game batting .240, and with a base hit there, as Justin Coons looks at a first pitch breaking ball, in for a strike. So 0-1 on the catcher out of Gardner-Webb. Costas leading off of first base as Hoeing comes set, and the pitch. Fastball just misses outside. Count evens 1 ball and 1 strike. Coons this year batting .245 in 21 games. Does have 3 home runs. As Hoeing checks on Costas at first base, who dives back safely. 1-1 the count, 2 outs, top of the first inning. Whitecaps lead this one 1-0 after Nick Dunn scampered home on a wild pitch as Justin Coons chops this one foul down the third baseline, and the count moves to 1-2. And now time is called as the ball is thrown in by the left fielder Jamison Hanna. Coons digging in from the right side. Costas with a sizable lead off of first, being held on by Lyle Lynn. Hoeing set, and the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt, good stop. Costas heading down, the throw from Radzewicz. In time, says Ronaldo Cockrum. Christian Molfetta, who's on deck, waving his arms in disbelief. The Costas seemed to have beaten the throw there, just maybe took his hand off the bag or something. That's got to be my best guess at it. But Marty Costas thrown out at second to end the top of the first inning. But the Whitecaps take a 1-0 lead after Nick Dunn, who led off the game with a stand-up double to center field, scampered home on a wild pitch. So after half an inning, Brewster won, and the Bourne Braves coming to bat. You're listening to the Brewster Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wedeel and Aiden Doyle.
Back here in Bourne, Whitecaps lead this one 1-0 after half an inning. Nick Dunn scoring the first run of the ball game on a wild pitch. And now we move to the bottom of the first inning. Aiden Doyle alongside Carter Wedeel here on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Richie Palacios leading things off for the Bourne Braves. And the first pitch from Bradley Spooner in at the knees for strike one. So Spooner off to a good start. Right-hander out of Saddleback Community College. Working quickly, and the 0-1 pitch. Another fastball in the lower part of the zone, and Spooner quickly ahead in the count 0-2. Palacios out of Towson University. Guy in the count 0-2, and he rips this one. Hooking foul down the right field line. So it stays alive. Count remains 0-2. Here at Doran Park, it's a little similar to Fenway Park, if you will, where the right field foul pole is very short. As a breaking ball from Spooner skips home. And the count now 1-2. The right field foul pole here in Bourne is just 300 feet away. But then it pretty much just goes straight back for a little bit and then turns into about 360. So right field is basically like 360 feet away. As the 1-2 pitch. This one hit on the ground sharply towards third. Comes right up on Connor Smith. Fields throw on to first in time for out number one.
Nicely done there by Smith. A tough thing to handle. I know we just got back from Wareham with that notorious gravel infield, so it's a little bit easier here, but still a tough one-hopper and got the throw in with plenty of time.
And almost a return to normalcy here at Doran Park, even though a tough hop. Not coming off of gravel, it is coming off of just regular dirt. Although the warning track here in Bourne is gravel. Now the number 2 hitter, Grant Williams, steps in for the Braves. Another left-handed hitter. First pitch from Spooner misses high and outside for ball one. Williams out of Kennesaw State University. As the 1-0 pitch from Spooner once again misses high and outside. Now 2-0. Williams getting the start at second base today for the Braves. Batting .304 on the season in 33 games. And again, Spooner misses high and outside with a fastball. 3-0 the count on Williams. Spooner through the windup and the 3-0 pitch. This one finds his zone. Williams taking all the way in the count 3-1. Spooner ready and the 3-1 pitch. Fastball misses inside and Grant Williams works a one-out walk. And so the Braves have a base runner as Williams takes the free pass down to first base, and that'll bring up Lyle Lynn, the man you talked about before the game, Carter. This is somebody Spooner's got to watch out for.
Yeah, absolutely, and one thing that Spooner can do to kind of make his life easier is to prevent those walks like the one that we just saw. We were talking about it in the pregame show about how much efficiency is needed for Spooner and whoever follows him coming into the ball game because of how short-staffed this pitching staff is right now.
Lynn, the first right-handed batter in this Braves lineup. And the first pitch hit on the ground towards third. And that one foul, says home plate umpire Larry Rosenberg. That one chopped towards third, but just got foul a few feet before the bag. So 0-1 the count on Lyle Lynn. Lynn typically a catcher for Bourne, but can also play first base where he gets his start today. One of the Sun Devils out of Arizona State, teammates with Whitecaps outfielder Hunter Bishop. Batting .315 on the season in 31 games. 26 hits, 6 doubles, 1 triple, no home runs. As Spooner checks on Williams at first base, who dives back safely. 0-1 the count, 1 out. And the pitch. Breaking ball cut on and missed. Lynn way out in front of that one. And the count now 0-2. Spooner looking at the Coons. Shakes off the first signal, now gets what he wants. And the 0-2 pitch. This one hit on the ground towards third, fielded by Molfetta. Throw to second, in time, throw on to first. In time, 5-4-3 goes to double play, and the one-out walk quickly erased. And just like that, a scoreless frame for Bradley Spooner in the bottom of the first. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. We've played an inning here at Doran Park. 1-0, Whitecaps lead the Bourne Braves. You're listening to the Brewster Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wedeel and Aiden Doyle.
It'll be 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Whitecaps in the top of the second inning. Justin Coons leading things off. He first pitch swinging, fouls this one off down the right field line out of play. Not really first pitch swinging though, because he was up in the bottom of the first, or excuse me, the top of the first inning when Marty Costas was thrown out at second base trying to swipe the bag. As check swing from Coons fouls off another one towards the Whitecaps dugout. So Coons was in the right-handed batter's box when the top of the first inning ended. But he digs back in here against Brian Hoeing. Behind in the count 0-2. And the righty-righty matchup as Hoeing through the windup and the 0-2 breaking ball hit on the ground foul towards third. Barehanded over there by Whitecaps third base coach Ryan Smythe. Christian Molfetta waiting on deck for the Whitecaps. As the 0-2 pitch from Hoeing on its way. Fastball misses outside. Now 1-2 on Coons. Coons originally from Wake Forest, North Carolina. As he gets a piece of that one, but Radzewicz able to hang on. So Coons down swinging on the off-speed pitch. That was that slider there from Brian Hoeing. And there's one down in the top of the second.
Yeah, that's particularly effective against guys like Justin Coons. Even a guy like Coons, I mean, that says something because Coons has become somewhat of an expert on this Cape League season at fouling off difficult pitches when behind in the count with 2 strikes. Really good at extending at-bats and getting a pitch that he wants. And right there, couldn't get enough of a piece of it.
That'll bring up Christian Molfetta. First pitch swinging, lines one out to right field. Moving towards the line is Witherspoon, but he's able to make the play for out number 2. Christian Molfetta hit it hard, but right at the right fielder, Grant Witherspoon. And so just a loud out for Christian Molfetta. That'll bring up Darius Hill now, the right fielder out of West Virginia University. And the first pitch from Hohen. Fastball on the outside corner, in for strike one. Hill, originally from Dallas, Texas. Looks at an 0-1 fastball from Hohen, misses outside for ball one. Count evens, 1 ball and 1 strike. Hill this year batting .218 in 18 games. 1-1 breaking ball hit on the ground, foul towards first. The count now 1-2. Hill really comes from a basketball family, though. His father played college basketball at Washington State, was the school's career three-point field goal leader until a man by the name of Klay Thompson came around and broke that record.
Who?
Current shooting guard for the Golden State Warriors. As a 1-2 breaking ball, cut on and miss. Hill chased that one downstairs for strike three. So the Whitecaps, after getting a run in the top of the first, go down in order in the top of the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We played an inning and a half here at Doran Park. Whitecaps still lead the Braves 1-0. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps baseball on the Brewster Whitecaps radio network.
Do you know what that sound is? That's your new digital marketing department. And that'll be your new web designer. And that's Haibu, where these experts are joined by many more, from web designers to search marketing specialists, who work hard to get your business noticed online and on mobile. Best of all, Haibu can do it all for you, or give you the tools to do it yourself. To find out more, go to haibu.com. That's HIBU.com, or call 855-464-HIBU. Oh, that'll be your next new customer. Haibu, made for business.
4, 5, and 6 in the Bourne Braves lineup due up against Bradley Spooner here in the bottom of the second inning. Grant Witherspoon leading things off. And the first pitch from Spooner, a fastball on the inside part of the plate for strike one. Spooner worked a scoreless bottom of the first inning. As a fastball from the right-hander misses just below the knees of Witherspoon. Count evens at 1-1. Did allow a walk to the number 2 hitter, Grant Williams, but that was erased on a Lyle Lynn, a 5-4-3 double play. Breaking ball from Spooner misses down and into Witherspoon. So we've got Witherspoon and Spooner facing off against each other. As the 2-1 lifted high in the air out towards right field. Will stay in the ballpark, though, as Darius Hill camps underneath it and puts it away. Grant Witherspoon hit that one a mile high, but just got underneath it for out number 1.
Yeah, really put a charge into that baseball. I'll tell you what, with this big right field, you'll take that if you're Bradley Spooner.
And that'll bring up Jared Triolo, the third baseman for the Braves out of the University of Houston. Batting .237 on the year in 24 games for Bourne. Another right-handed hitter. As this one, first pitch swinging on a breaking ball, lifted in the air in foul territory to the right of first base. Zach Hagan calling off Justin Coons. And just like that, one pitch is all Bradley Spooner needs to retire Triolo for out number 2.
Well, now we're seeing some efficiency here. I'm sure this is music to Jamie Shevchik and Austin Straubs here. It's the head coach and pitching coach for Brewster.
And now Jamison Hanna, the left fielder for the Braves, digs in. Batting from the left side for Bourne. 2 down here in the bottom of the second inning. Whitecaps lead this one 1-0 over the Braves. As the first pitch from Spooner, a fastball in for strike one. So Spooner working ahead in the count. Been working quickly so far. Shakes off the first 2 signs from Coons. Now gets what he wants. The 0-1 fastball hit on the ground. Diving is Gahagan, but he can't make the play. That one's into right field for a base hit. So Jamison Hanna with a 2-out single. And the Braves have a man aboard.
That really was a tough play for Gahagan because he had a couple of things to contend with. That wasn't just a hot shot just right along the ground. That was a high chopper, so he had to kind of gauge the height when he was doing that full extension dive. Very difficult play.
And now Andrew Freejay digs in for the Braves. Starting shortstop for Bourne out of Sam Houston State University. Batting just 179 in 27 games for Bourne. As the first pitch from Spooner, a fastball that misses down and away for ball one. There's 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. Man aboard is Jamison Hanna, who leads off of first base for the Braves. Spooner working from the stretch. And the 1-0 pitch hit right back to him. Broken bat off of Freejay. And Spooner will underhand it to Gahagan at first base. So a quick inning for Bradley Spooner in the bottom of the second inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. And 1 man left on for the Bourne. 2 innings in the books here at Doran Park. And the Whitecaps lead this one 1-0.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wedeel and Aiden Doyle.
8-9 and 1 due up for the Whitecaps in the top of the third inning. Zach Gahagan, Devin Foyle, and Nick Dunn coming to bat for Brewster. Aiden Doyle alongside Carter Wedeel here at Doran Park, where the Whitecaps lead this one 1-0 over the Bourne Braves. Righty-righty matchup as Brian Hoeing on the mound for the Braves. First pitch to Gahagan, chopped towards short, backhanded there by Andrew Freejay. Throw on to first in time, so 1 pitch, 1 out for Hoeing in the top of the third.
This has been a very quick ball game here so far. A lot of balls on the ground and a lot of first pitch swinging. Both offenses are being pretty aggressive right now in the way they're approaching these at-bats.
And now the switch hitter Devin Foyle digs in for the Whitecaps. Batting left against the right-handed throwing Hoeing. Foyle getting the start in left field today for Brewster out of the University of Kansas. And looks at a first pitch fastball from Hoeing right on the outside corner for strike 1. Foyle batting just 171 in 21 games so far this year. Hits this one on the ground towards first. Charging is Lynn, and he'll take it himself to the bag for out number 2.
You see a lot of first basemen do that in that situation. It looked like the pitcher Hoeing was charging over to try and cover, but for most first basemen, if you've got a chance to go to that bag yourself, that's what you're going to do. You never want to risk the little underhand motion.
To switch sports for a second, it's like in football. I remember I always loved to pass the ball, and my dad said, 3 things can happen when you throw the ball. 2 of them aren't good. You can either complete the pass, it can be incomplete, or it can be intercepted. As the first pitch now to Nick Dunn. Fastball that misses just below the knees. So yeah, you got to believe when you have the opportunity to just take it yourself to the bag instead of tossing it, you will seize that opportunity as a breaking ball from Hoeing, cut on and missed there by Dunn. Chased that one downstairs, and the count evens at 1-1.
Don't think one of those is going to be intercepted here. I mean, Alex Rodriguez isn't on either of these rosters.
1-1 slider from Hoeing in for a strike. Now 1-2 on the Maryland second baseman. Dunn today scored the only run of the ball game thus far. Led the game off with a stand-up double to center field as he swings and misses on the breaking ball downstairs, and he goes down swinging. So a 1-2-3 inning for Brian Hoeing. He's retired 6 in a row. No runs, no hits, no errors, and obviously no one left on for the Whitecaps in the top of the third. We've played 2.5 here in Bourne. Whitecaps still lead the Braves 1-0. You're listening to the Brewster Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Waddell and Aiden Doyle.
Moving to the bottom of the third inning here at Doran Park. 1-0 the score. Whitecaps lead the Bourne Braves. Aiden Doyle alongside Carter Waddell here on the Whitecaps Radio Network. As the first pitch from Bradley Spooner, a fastball on the outside corner to the Bourne number 8 hitter Kevin Radzowicz in for a strike. Righty-righty matchup here between Spooner and Radzowicz. As the 0-1 pitch on its way. Fastball fouled right back into the netting right in front of us. And the count moves to 0-2. Here in Bourne, we're situated just to the right of home plate. Not really up the first baseline at all, but not quite directly behind home plate. 0-2 the count as Spooner shakes off Coons, and now Radzowicz will call time, and Coons and Spooner will run through the signs again. Spooner ready, and the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball hit on the ground towards short. Fielded over there by Connor Smith. Low throw onto first, and it gets away from Gahagan. Backed up nicely by Justin Coons. So Radzowicz reaches. We'll see how they score it, but you got to believe that's going to be an E6.
And a great job, as you said, by Coons to back that up. That's not the first time that we've seen Justin Coons hustle over on a play like that. He's done a terrific job doing the little things defensively for Brewster this year.
And now the number 9 hitter, Andy Atwood, the center fielder for the Braves, digs in. That one actually scored an infield hit. So Connor Smith not charged with the error. As the first pitch from Spooner on its way. Fastball just misses off the plate for ball 1. I guess the thinking is that it was deep in the hole between short and third. Smith with a long throw on to first. Wasn't sure if they were going to get Radzowicz anyways. As Spooner checks on the Bourne catcher at first base, who gets back safely. Another righty-righty matchup. As the 1-0 pitch, Atwood shows bunt but takes it back as Spooner misses down and away. Now the count 2-0. Atwood typically thought of as more of a defensive center fielder, as we mentioned with that Sports Center top 10 play in Chatham the other night. As the fastball from Spooner is high above the letters, now 3-0 on Atwood. Atwood, one of the Beavers out of Oregon State University, batting just .135 in 16 games for Bourne. 3-0 pitch on its way. Atwood taking all the way and looks at a fastball for a strike from Bradley Spooner, so now 3-1 the count. Spooner looking to the Coons. Comes set, and the 3-1 pitch. Fastball misses just off the plate, and so Bourne with 2 runners aboard, still nobody out in the bottom of the third inning. The infield single from Radzowicz, and now a walk from Andy Atwood, and it's the top of the Braves order coming to bat.
Yeah, this is a recipe for disaster for Spooner. You allow two guys to reach without the baseball leaving the infield. Now you've got the top of the order coming up. Of course, I'm sure he's thinking about maybe getting another double play ball like the one we saw in the first inning.
Now Richie Palacios digs in. designated hitter for the Braves, batting from the left side. And the first pitch from Spooner, in for a strike. That one on the lower part of the zone. Palacios grounded out to short in his first at-bat. Out of Towson University, as the 0-1 pitch shows bunt, and bunts at foul. So the count now 0-2, and you got to believe that bunt signal will be taken away from Palacios. 1-0 the score here in Bourne. Whitecaps on top of the Braves. 2 runners on, though, for the Braves, with nobody out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. As Spooner comes set, and the 0-2 pitch. Fastball just misses inside. Spooner wanted it. Palacios jumped out of the way, so the count 1-2 now on the Bourne designated hitter. Radzowicz leading off of second, Atwood off of first. Spooner comes set, and the 1-2 pitch. This one lined down the left field line. That one will stay fair and roll into the corner. They're waving home Radzowicz. He will score, tying the game at 1. They're waving home Atwood as well. The throw will not be in time, as Richie Palacios with a 2-run double, and the Bourne Braves take a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the 3rd.
That's tough for Bradley Spooner, because that was probably the first piece of hard contact that we saw in this entire inning after the walk and the infield hit. But a great piece of hitting by Richie Palacios, just pulling that one down the line, keeping it fair, an easy-looking 2-run hit.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be one that Spooner wishes he had back after getting ahead in the count 0-2 to Palacios. We're having 2 strikes on the Bourne designated hitter, allowing that 2-run double. Just stayed fair down the left field line. And now that'll bring up Grant Williams, the number 2 hitter for the Braves. Williams is second baseman out of Kennesaw State University, batting .304 on the season coming into the game. And that stayed his average after a leadoff walk, or a first inning walk for Williams. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. The first pitch to Williams, a fastball in the outside corner for strike 1. Williams showed bunt, but took it back. Palacios leading off of second. 0-1 the count. And the pitch from Spooner. Breaking ball in the dirt. Good stop there by Justin Coons, and the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Wind blowing out to left field here in Bourne. 2-1 the score. Braves on top of the Whitecaps. And the 1-1 pitch from Spooner. This one skips home. Another good block by Justin Coons. Keep the ball in front of him. Coons, primarily thought of as probably the best defensive catcher on this Whitecaps roster. Doing a good job keeping low pitches in front of him here from Spooner. Keeping Palacios at second. 2-1 the count, as Spooner now spins off of the mound to check on Richie Palacios. Spooner now ready, though. Comes set, and the 2-1 pitch. Fastball on the outside corner, evens the count at 2-2. Good spot there from Spooner to locate that fastball. Now Spooner comes set, and the 2-2 pitch. Another one that misses low, and another good stop by Justin Coons, but the count runs full on Grant Williams. Full count, nobody out, runner on second for the Braves here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. 2 runs already across for Bourne in the inning on a 2-run Richie Palacios double. As Spooner comes set, and the payoff pitch. This one roped into right field. That'll get down for a base hit. Palacios being held at third as Darius Hill gets to the ball rather quickly. And the throw in gets away from Gahagan for a second, but backed up nicely by Spooner. So another hit for the Bourne Braves. And now they have runners on the corner, so it's still nobody out.
Well, you know what I'm going to say, Aiden. He hit the baseball too hard, just lined it straight to right field. That's one of those things that baseball penalizing you for getting solid contact.
but now the man that Spooner probably doesn't exactly want to face, although he did get him to a ground into a 5-4-3 double play to end the bottom of the first inning. Lyle Lynn digging in for the Braves, first baseman out of Arizona State. And the first pitch from Spooner, breaking ball, and misses downstairs. Another great block by Justin Coons to hold the runners at bay. So 1-0 the count to Lynn, who, like I mentioned, 0 for 1 on the day. And now Austin Straub will walk out to the mound to have a chat with Bradley Spooner. Spooner finally run into a bit of trouble here in the bottom of the third inning.
And it seems kind of similar to the previous 2 starts that he's had, where he's kind of showed some flashes. I mean, that changeup, he really pulled the string well a couple of times earlier in this ball game, but has yet to strike anybody out and has been giving up a couple of pieces of hard contact in a row now in this third inning. Just hasn't quite been able to get into a real rhythm for Brewster. That's kind of what's been hampering him in what is now is start number 3 for him on the season. So that's kind of what to look for him, and I'm sure that the leash is going to be pretty long. Right now, it doesn't look like there's anything going on in the Whitecaps bullpen. So this is Spooner's ending to kind of work himself out of.
Well, Straub now retreating back to the Whitecaps dugout. Lyle Lynn digging back into the right-handed batter's box. And we're ready to get things back underway here at Doran Park. 1-0 the count and the pitch. Fastball just misses high and inside, says home plate umpire Larry Rosenberg. Now 2-0 on Lynn. You tell Spooner wanted that call. Just misses out of the zone. Runners on the corners, nobody out. 2-1 the score. Braves on top. As this one lined in between short and third and into left field. Scoring is Palacios, and Williams into second base. As now Bourne extends their lead to 3-1 in the bottom of the third.
And another piece of hard contact. Tell you what, that's Lyle Lynn's specialty, right? Just whacking the ball hard and driving in runs. That's what he's done all year for the Bourne Braves. And now for Bradley Spooner, it's kind of like a situation where he's just trying to keep this from becoming a real big inning for the Braves. Kind of keeping the Whitecaps in striking distance is the goal now.
As now Grant Witherspoon digging in for the Braves, the number 4 hitter and right fielder for Bourne. First pitch from Spooner, fastball that misses down and in for ball 1. Witherspoon flew out to right field in his first at-bat, 0 for 1 on the day. 3-1 the score here at Doran Park. Braves on top of the Whitecaps. Still nobody out, runners on first and second for Bourne. And the 1-0 pitch. Off speed, cut on and missed there. Great job by Spooner, burying that pitch downstairs below the knees. Witherspoon just swung right over it for strike 1. Evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Spooner still working quickly. 1-1 pitch on the way. Fastball in the dirt. Another great stop by Justin Coons. Seems like we've been saying that a lot tonight. And the count now 2-1. Spooner looking at the Coons. Shakes off a couple of signs, now gets what he wants. And a 2-1 breaking ball misses in the dirt. Now 3-1 on Grant Witherspoon. Spooner having trouble finding the zone here in the third inning, and when he is, it's being hit hard by Braves hitters. Bourne with 4 hits in the inning, 3 runs, and still nobody out for Spooner. This one chopped foul towards the Whitecaps dugout, and now the count runs full. Fielded over there by Whitecaps pitcher Tony Losi. So a full count on Witherspoon, nobody out in the bottom of the third. Runners on first and second for Bourne. Grant Williams leading off of second, Lyle Lynn off of first. And the 3-2 pitch. Hit on the ground towards first, fielded by Gahagan, goes to second, throws high, but Smith able to make the play. Throw back to first, not in time. And so Witherspoon will reach on the fielder's choice. They do get the force out at second, but Grant Williams moves to third on the play. And so now with 1 down, Bourne has runners on the corners.
Yeah, that was a nice play from Gahagan to go and get that lead runner, but you have to feel like if he was able to get that throw to second a little bit more online, they would have been able to get the twin killing. Either way, that's always a really tough play when you're backhanding a ball at first base and trying to turn 2. But now, if they get another one on the ground, they can end this inning.
Yeah, double play gets Spooner out of the inning. Jared Triolo, the Bourne third baseman, digs in. Popped out to Gahagan in his first at-bat on the first pitch he saw into foul territory. One down here in the bottom of the third inning. Runners on the corners for Bourne. And the first pitch from Spooner. Breaking ball just misses off the plate for ball one. Triolo, the third baseman out of the University of Houston. Batting .237 on the season in 24 games coming into this contest. Right-handed hitter in this Braves lineup, so righty-righty matchup. Spooner's ready, and check swing from Triolo, hit on the ground in fair territory. Gahagan looks towards second, but couldn't make the play, so now flips to covering Spooner at first. So they get Triolo on the 3-1, but coming to the score is Grant Williams, and Bourne tacks on another one. It's now 4-1 Braves here in the bottom of the third.
Another kind of tough decision there for Zach Gahagan about where to go with that baseball. I mean, 3 different places where you could conceivably throw that thing, but in the end going with the shore out. I know a run comes in there, but Bradley Spooner has to like that. Soft contact, it's in the infield, and now all he has to do is retire Jamison Hanna, and he can get off the mound.
Like you mentioned, Carter, Jamison Hanna digs in now for the Braves. Looks at a first pitch fastball from Spooner that misses high and outside for ball one. Hanna today 1 for 1 with a single to right in his first at-bat. Grant Witherspoon leading off of second base for Bourne. And they throw to second. It goes off of Witherspoon. It was a low throw from Spooner, almost got away. But Spooner gets a little lucky there as the throw bounced on one hop, hit Witherspoon shoulder helmet area, right off the side of the helmet, you say, Carter, and then kind of caromed over towards Nick Dunn at second base.
That is really unlucky for the runner in second there. I mean, for Witherspoon, if that...
As the 1-0 pitch from Spooner misses in, actually just catches the inside corner, says Larry Rosenberg, and the count evens at 1-1.
If that's a little bit lower or higher, that's in center field. He's able to take third base, but instead it whacks off of his helmet, and it goes right to the second baseman, Nick Dunn.
Unlucky in a couple of ways. Not only does it not quite get away, as Spooner misses downstairs, now 2-1 on Hanna. So he couldn't advance to third, and the reason he couldn't advance to third is because he took the pickoff attempt off of the helmet. 2-1 the count on the Bourne left fielder. Spooner ready. And the pitch lined into center field. Going back is Marty Costas. He's on the run. He's at the track, and he makes an over-the-shoulder grab. He slips and falls a bit, but is able to hang on for out number 3. So Jamison Hanna gives it a ride, but just allowed out. But Bourne, the Braves score 4 runs in the bottom of the third inning. It comes on 4 hits, no errors, and they leave 1 on. Moving to the top of the 4th inning. Braves lead the Whitecaps 4-1 here on the Brewster Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wedeel and Aiden Doyle. We welcome you back to Doran Park in Bourne. Connor Smith leading things off for the Whitecaps as we start at the top of the 4th, and he takes a pitch outside to begin things for Brewster. It's the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for Brewster: Smith, Taylor, and Costas. On this modified lineup the day after Brewster clinched a playoff spot. The pitch to the righty Misses up high, so it's 2-0 now. Brian Honing still on the mound for the Bourne Braves. So far, just the one run allowed. It's 4-1. Bourne on top. The pitch to the righty Smith is in there for a strike at the knees. So 2-1 is now the count on Connor Smith. Smith, his first time up, grounded out to first base. Here comes the 2-1 offering. Breaking ball hit on the ground, left side. The shortstop, Free J, scoops it up, and he'll throw to first base, and it's not in time. Connor Smith beat it out. A terrific play by Smith to hustle out. Well, that was a routine ground ball there for Free J, but just took a little bit too much time transferring the baseball out of the glove, and Connor Smith gets an infield hit.
Nice job by Connor Smith there beating that one out. I guess what I saw is maybe Free J thought, okay, it's a routine ground ball. No one really hustles these out. I got to take some time. Connor Smith getting an opportunity to start today for the Whitecaps. Wanted to show Coach Shevchik, hey, I'm going to give it my all. Beats it out, and you got to love that if you're Coach Jamie Shevchik.
So here's the lefty swinging Chandler Taylor, and the first pitch to him is in there for a called strike at the knees to make the count 0-1. Taylor struck out swinging on a fastball his first time up. That seems to be his kryptonite at the plate recently, fastballs that are up there with a couple of strikes. Obviously a guy who loves to give pitches a ride, leading the Whitecaps with 8 home runs coming into this ball game, including one last night. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. It's a breaking ball, just misses below the knees to Taylor. Smith is aboard first base. Whitecaps are trailing in this ball game 4-1. Smith is 4 out of 5 stealing bags so far this season. Showed his speed beating out that infield hit. And they're going to check him over at first. He dives back in time. Taylor getting the half a day off today as the Whitecaps DH. Still back in the heart of the order at the 3 spot as they throw once again to check on Connor Smith, and he gets back in time again. Hadn't really even finished taking his lead at that point, trying to catch him, but did get back safely. 1-1 the count on Chandler Taylor. Here comes the pitch. It's a fastball that misses up high. So 2-1 is the count. Whitecaps got the first run in this game when Nick Dunn came in to score on a wild pitch in the top of the first inning. And Bourne just put up a 4 spot in the bottom of inning number 3 to take a 4-1 lead. The pitch to Taylor is in there for a called strike. So says Larry Rosenberg. That one up and in. Rosenberg is the same umpire that was on the mound when Tony Losi had that gem back on July 25th against Katuitt just a few days ago. He's got a pretty tight zone, but Losi praised him for being consistent after that ball game. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. It just misses low. There's that tight zone showing up to Larry Rosenberg. The catcher, Radzowicz, trying to frame it and get the low strike, but Rosenberg does not bite. And so the count is full now on Chandler Taylor. Holding the set is the righty Honing. Here comes the pitch. It misses down and in, so that's ball 4. Nice at bat from Chandler Taylor. He works a walk. That is the first time that a Brewster Whitecaps hitter has worked a walk off of Honing in this ball game, and it's 2 on and nobody out for Costas.
Nice at bat there from Chandler Taylor, and this is an inning you gotta like how it's starting. If you're Jamie Shevchik, this infield single by Connor Smith, hustling to beat it out. Then Chandler Taylor with a good at bat, working the walk. So 2 runners on, nobody out, and a power hitter, and Marty Costas up.
Broke a string of 6 straight batters retired. Did that infield hit in the walks to start this inning off. And Costas will dig in now from the right side for Brewster. Costas so far today had a single his first time up and then was caught stealing. He was trying to head to second on a pitch that got away from Radzowicz and overslid the bag. Was tagged out. First and second, nobody out. Here comes the pitch. He shows bunt, takes the pitch outside, so it's 1-0 on Costas. Whitecaps are trailing the Bourne Braves here 4-1. In the top of inning number 4. Radzowicz, a rising junior from... Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Marty Costas. Hits it hard into center field. Coming in is the center fielder Atwood, and he can't make the play. He plays it on a hop. It's a base hit for Costas, and the bases are loaded as Connor Smith was holding at third base. Didn't want to test Atwood's arm with nobody out, but the bases are now full for Justin Coons.
Well, one, that was a great throw from Andy Atwood down center field, so a good decision by Ryan Smythe to hold Connor Smith at third, but also Smith hesitating a bit because Costas hits the ball so hard and it carries so far. With a center fielder like Atwood, you gotta have the hesitation and just give the Atwood the respect that, hey, there's a chance he might be able to catch that ball, but either way, it falls in front of him, and now bases loaded, nobody out. You don't want to push it and maybe make an out at home plate when you can have, the bases loaded and nobody retired.
So a very big spot for Brian Hoeing on the mound, and he's getting some guidance from Jordan Tabachman, the pitching coach here for the Bourne Braves. Justin Coons due up for Brewster. Coons is in the lineup for his defense, but has shown some pop at the plate so far this year for the Whitecaps. Does have 3 home runs on the season. Of course, all the Whitecaps need for him now is to just get on base and try and drive in a run. Brewster's trailing in this game 4-1 here in the top of the 4th. It's Smith on third base, Taylor on second, and Marty Costas on first base. Tell you what, speed on all 3 bases right now. The pitch misses just a bit outside to make the count 1-0 on Justin Coons. Certainly the catcher Radzewicz doesn't want to see another pitch get away from him because Connor Smith, will be hustling down the line if that happens. 1-0 pitch is hit high in the air, foul behind the plate. Heads over everything and sends a couple of children scrambling for a souvenir behind home plate, maybe toward the first base side a little bit. And the count is 1-1. Coons, his first time up, swung and foul tipped the slider for strike 3. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Misses up and in. That was a breaking ball that just didn't have any bite to it. So it's 2-1 now on Justin Coons. The running bulldog from Gardner Webb. Hoeing staring in. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on a high fastball. Really reached to swing at that one. That might have been up at chin or eye level there when he took that cut, but it's 2-2. Hoeing working from the full windup here with the bases loaded, and nobody out for the Whitecaps. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. It's a breaking ball hit on the ground to shortstop. Free J Fields, he flips to second for 1, over to first base. It's in time for the double play. A run does come in for Brewster, but Bourne happily taking 2 to give 1, and the Whitecaps cut the lead to 4-2 now with a runner on third and 2 men out.
Well, that wasn't exactly hit the hardest off the bat of Justin Coons, so it gave Coons a chance to beat it out, and it was a close play at first base. But the first base umpire, Sam Finn, says Justin Coons just not able to beat it out. But again, runs scored, so yes, you'll take that if you're Whitecaps, but you mentioned it, Carter. Braves happy to get 2 outs there on the 6-4-3.
So with Chandler Taylor now on third base as the only Whitecap base runner, here's Malfetta, and the righty hits a chopper foul left side to start his at-bat. Whitecaps have been pretty aggressive at the plate so far in this ball game. I know that's been a directive from Jamie Shevchik and the coaching staff for a while now to try and get this team to be a little bit less patient at the plate. And certainly against a guy like Hoeing who's got that put-away slider, you kind of don't want to allow him to get in that position where he can unload that pitch on you. Malfetta shows bunt and takes the 0-1 pitch outside, so it's 1 ball and 1 strike on Christian Malfetta. It looks like Ryan Simpler, the righty out of East Tennessee State, is warming in the pen right now for the Bourne Braves. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. It's hit hard through the middle, and it's going to get into center field for a base hit. Chandler Taylor comes in to score the 3rd Whitecap run of the ball game. Christian Malfetta gets his 8th ribby, and the Whitecaps have now cut this lead down to 1. It's 4-3 Braves.
Great job there by Christian Malfetta to fight off that inside pitch from Hoeing. Just shoot it into center field. Kind of got jammed a little bit. Didn't exactly have the best contact, but just fought it off enough to get it into center field for an RBI single.
That's a big hit from Malfetta. You know, when you load the bases with nobody out, you're thinking you've got to bring in a couple of runs. And to have the double play, take the air out of that rally, it's important for Brewster to get that single, to get that second run up on the board. Darius Hill, first pitch swinging, he fouls it away toward the left side. That one had plenty of distance to it, but tailed foul down the left field line. So it's 0-1 on the West Virginia Mountaineer. Hill, his first time up, was also fooled by that slider out of the hand of Hoeing. One of 3 strikeout victims, or 4, excuse me, for Hoeing in this ball game tonight. It's an 0-1 count on Darius Hill. Here comes the pitch. It's fouled away again toward the left side, so Hill is behind him to count no balls and 2 strikes. Whitecaps trailing in this game 4-3, 2 runs already in this frame for Brewster on the double play ground ball from Coons and the ribby single through the middle from Christian Malfetta. Darius Hill trying to keep the rally moving with Zach Gahagan standing on deck for the Whitecaps. He's behind in the count, 0-2. Here comes the pitch. It's fouled away. Just kind of stuck the barrel of the bat out, did Darius Hill, and pushed it over behind the plate toward the third base side. Whizzing over the fans' heads. We've got a pretty good crowd here at Doran Park tonight. A lot of lawn chair space, especially on the third base side here at this ballpark, and plenty of fans coming out to enjoy the baseball. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Misses up high and tight. A nice job by Radzewicz to just jump out of his crouch and glove it. So the count 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Darius Hill, who did have to move out of the way just a little bit to avoid that pitch, did the lefty hitter. 1-2 is the count. Here comes the pitch. It's a high chopper right side. It's over the head of the first baseman. Linden into right field for a base hit. Heading around second base is Christian Malfetta. He's going to get into third. Hill is digging for second, and he slides, and he's out at second. So says Ronaldo Cockrum. Kind of an awkward slide from Darius Hill as he was going in there. The throw from the right fielder Witherspoon got in there in time. The second time has been kind of an awkward slide, but it's led to an out at second base for a Whitecap in this ballgame, and that ends the inning here in the top of the fourth. But the Whitecaps do get a pair of runs. They get those runs on 4 hits, and they leave 1 runner on. We're through 3.5 innings of play here in Bourne. The Whitecaps trail the Braves 4-3. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. We welcome you back to Bourne. Bradley Spooner is returning to the mound for the Whitecaps, and he just got a couple more runs of support. The Whitecaps now trailing 4-3 in this game after scoring a pair of runs in the top of the fourth. Due up for the Braves, it's going to be the bottom third of the order, starting with Andrew Freejay, then Kevin Radzowicz and Andy Atwood for Bourne, trying to follow up on a 4-run third inning. Righty to righty, here's the first pitch to Freejay, and it misses just low. Count 1-0. Freejay so far in this game is 0 for 1. He hit a ground ball to the right side his first time up. The 1-0 pitch misses up high. 2-0 now the count on Freejay. And Spooner's working quickly, so here comes the 2-0 pitch. It's fouled away behind the plate. This is the first time in a while that these two teams have shared a ball field together. The last time they met was way back on June 26th, so over a month ago. It was here at Doran Park, and the Whitecaps lost that game 5-3. The day before that, they had played a doubleheader at Stony Brook Field, and the Whitecaps were able to get the sweep. Here comes the 2-1 pitch to Freejay, and it skips in front of Coons. Kind of bats at it with his catcher's mitt, and the count is balls and 1 strike. Spooner has not quite been able to get the handle on that breaking stuff so far. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. It's a slow ground ball toward the left side. Charging is the third baseman. Malfetta is going to wait to see if it rolls foul, and it won't. It's an infield hit. Malfetta picked it up with the bare hand right before it would have knocked into the third base bag. So a leadoff infield single for Andrew Freejay start things off in the fourth.
Well, that's another example of, I know obviously he gave up some hard contact there in the bottom of the third inning, but a lot of the hits that have come off of Spooner so far haven't exactly been hard hit. Another infield single for the Braves. That one just chopped down the third base line. Malfetta had every intention of fielding it right off the bat, but then noticed that with Freejay's good speed, ball may tail foul. It just couldn't quite hook foul.
So here's Kevin Radzowicz to the righty hitter. Is hit high in the air into right center field. Moving to his right is the right fielder Hill, and he's called off by the center fielder Costas, who comes in and makes the play in right center for out number 1 of the top of the fourth. So Radzowicz first pitch swinging is retired out in center by Costas. There's one gone.
You gotta like that if you're Austin Straub. Getting the first pitch swinging is, or getting an out on a first pitch to Radzowicz. Spooner's been working quickly, whether he's getting guys on the first pitch or the fifth. Not taking a whole lot of time in between pitches, but obviously as a pitching coach you want fewer pitches.
The pitch to the righty Atwood is a breaking ball that misses inside, makes the count 1-0. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning here in Bourne. Braves hanging on to a 4-3 lead with 1 man out and a runner at first base in Freejay. Waiting on a 1-2 pitch from Spooner. Now he holds the set with the glove at his belt buckle, the 1-0. Breaking ball that misses just low. Pretty good pitch there from Bradley Spooner, but Atwood laying it off nicely. Speaking of laying things off, Atwood walked his first time. He would come around to score on that 2-run double from Richie Palacios, which gave the Braves the lead in the bottom of the third. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. It's hit high in the air, foul ground right side. It'll get out of play. So the count 2 balls and 1 strike on Atwood. Atwood hasn't been able to quite get it together at the plate, as you've been saying, Aiden. He's terrific defensively, but hitting just 135 on the Cape this year. Hit 239 this past spring with the Oregon State Beavers. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Runner's going for second base. The pitch is just a bit outside. They throw down to second, and he is out at second base. Nicely done by Justin Coons to fire it into Nick Dunn at second, and caught stealing is Andrew Freejay. That's just the second time in now 9 attempts that he's been caught stealing, and that's the second out of this 4th inning.
I've been saying it all year. I don't know why guys still try and run on Justin Coons. I mean, he is clearly proven to be one of the premier defensive catchers in the Cape League. He's got a great arm behind the plate.
Here's the 3-1 pitch to Atwood. It misses low for ball 4, so 2 walks for Atwood today. And so he kind of goes out and replaces Andrew Freejay on first base with now 2 men out, and it's back to the top of the order and Richie Palacios. For Spooner, that is the 3rd batter that he has walked in this game. Or rather, the 3rd walk he's surrendered. 2 of them have been to the same hitter, Atwood. Palacios, as I mentioned, had that 2-run double his last time up. Also has a ground ball to his name back in the 1st inning. Hitting from the left side, the pitch. Just misses up. Again, a very tight zone from Larry Rosenberg. We saw it the last time he was umping a Whitecaps game a few days ago. But he's been pretty consistent tonight, just as he was back on the 25th of July. 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball grooved in there for strike number 1. Nice deceptive pitch there from Bradley Spooner. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike on Palacios. Holding the set is Spooner. Here's the 1-1 pitch. It's hit on the ground foul right side, so it's 1-2. Palacios, a rising junior from Brooklyn, New York originally. Listed at 5'11", on the Braves roster, which may be a tad generous. He says one of the reasons that big-time programs didn't give him a look is because he was too small. He said he used that as motivation, playing at Towson. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It skips in front of Coons. A nice block again from the Gardner-Webb catcher. 2-2 is the count. We've seen a lot of breaking pitches out of the hand of Spooner that have gone 58, 59 feet, and Justin Coons has done a terrific job keeping them at bay so far in this ball game. The Whitecaps trailing Bourne here 4-3, bottom of the 4th. Runner on first, 2 men out. The pitch is hit hard into center field. Costas is coming in from center. He dives. Did he come up with it? Yes, he did. A terrific play from Marty Costas in center field. Went to the ground as he grabbed that baseball. A hard hit line drive off the bat of Palacios, but it's a loud out number 3 for the Bourne Braves in the bottom of the 4th inning. They get no runs on 1 hit. They leave 1 runner on at the end of 4 innings of play here at Doran Park. The Whitecaps trail the Braves 4-3. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wedeel and Aiden Doyle. We welcome you back to Doran Park in Bourne. We're getting ready to start the top of the 5th inning. Whitecaps trailing the Bourne Braves by a score of 4-3. And there's a new pitcher on the mound for Bourne as we start the 5th inning of play. It's Ryan Simpler making his 3rd appearance on Cape Cod this year. Has only thrown 3 innings for the Braves so far this season, as an ERA of 3. Just the 1 earned run in those 3 innings of work. He'll face Gehagen, Foyle, and Dunn, and the pitch to Zach Gehagen is hit hard down the right field line, but it tails foul. So again, another pitch swinging from a Brewster Whitecap. We've seen that a lot so far in this ball game, and Zach Gehagen whacks it foul. So the count is 0-1 on the UNC Tar Heel. Gehagen grounded out to shortstop his first time up. Hitting from the right side. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. It misses down and away to make the count 1-1. Brewster got 2 runs in the top of the 4th inning to cut this deficit down to 4-3. A double play ground ball and then a ribby single from Malfetta did the trick in that frame for Brewster. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. It's hit high in the air. A sky-high pop fly right side of the infield. Coming in is the second baseman, Williams. He will call everybody off and make the catch. Out number 1. Williams wound up taking 2 or 3 steps inside the infield grass there to make that catch, and that's the first out of the 5th. And that'll bring up the switch-hitting Devin Foyle, hitting from the left side against the righty Ryan Simpler. Simpler in those 3 innings of work that he's had up to this point has given up 4 hits. He's walked 1 and is still looking for his first strikeout of the year. The pitch to Foyle is hit hard on the ground right side, and he takes a terrible hop and hops over the head of the first baseman Lynn and down the right field line into the right field corner. Hustling into second base is Devin Foyle. He will get there with a double. Not sure what that baseball hit, but it just got launched in the air after maybe the 2nd or 3rd bounce. Nothing Lyle Lynn could do. He did his best to leap up and grab it, wound up losing his hat, but it's a lucky double for Devin Foyle, and the Whitecaps have a man in scoring position here in the 5th.
Yeah, he hit that ball hard, but then probably if it hits about an inch to the left or an inch to the right away from, we'll say, that pebble that it hit or something, but Lyle Lynn probably makes the play. But hey, if you're Devin Foyle, you'll take it. He hits the ball hard, takes a bad hop on Lynn right over his head and into the right field corner, and now you got the order coming back up with a runner in scoring position.
So here is Nick Dunn hitting from the left side. Tying run in scoring position. The pitch to Dunn misses low. Nice block behind the dish from Kevin Radzewicz. So 1-0 is the count now on Nick Dunn. Dunn had a double in the 1st inning and then came around to score the first run of the game on a wild pitch. Waiting on a 1-0 offering. Here it comes. Just misses low. Got away for a bit from Radzewicz, but no advance from Foyle over at second base. Foyle does have some speed. We've seen Jamie Shevchik use him as a pinch runner pretty frequently so far this season. He's been kind of the first guy off the bench as far as outfielders have been concerned, getting the start tonight. A lot of the more reserves are playing. The 2-0 pitch misses down and in to make the count 3-0 on Dunn. If you're just joining us, of course, the Whitecaps clinched a playoff spot in Wareham yesterday evening, so a lot of the regulars getting the night off. Waiting on a 3-0 pitch now to Dunn. Here it comes. It misses down and in for ball 4. Not a lot to look at there for Nick Dunn. A 4-pitch walk. And it's 1st and 2nd now for Brewster with just 1 man out and Connor Smith digging in.
Nick Dunn has really just been so locked in over the last couple of weeks. I mean, he got off to a slow start after getting back to the Cape. Now up to 321 on the season coming into the game. Obviously with that stand-up double in his first at-bat, that average went back up to now 324, 14-game hitting streak for Dunn. I mean, this is exactly the guy who Jamie Shevchik thought he was getting back.
Pitch to the righty, Connor Smith, is a breaking ball just dropped in there for strike number 1. And you're right, Aiden. At one point during the season, Coach Shevchik said he sat down with Nick Dunn when he was struggling and said, listen, this team needs you. You need to kind of pick up your production. And a few days later, he did just that. And ever since then, he's been all-star quality. The 0-1 pitch misses down and away. Again, squirts away a bit from Radzewicz, but again, Foyle will stay put over at second. So 1-1 is now the count on Connor Smith. Smith, his last time up, had a terrific hustle play, hit what looked like a routine ground ball to shortstop, but Free J was a little lackadaisical fielding the baseball, and Smith wound up beating it out for an infield hit. Came around to score later in that frame. The 1-1 pitch, another breaking ball. That's in there for a called strike from Larry Rosenberg. Rosenberg taking his time with that call. When it's a close call, sometimes Rosenberg can do that. I know we saw that 3 days ago when he was behind the plate at Stony Brook Field. takes his time to think about it, and then we'll make the call. 1-2 is the count. First and second, one man out for the Whitecaps, trying to come back from a 4-3 deficit here in the top of inning number 5, and Connor Smith calls time. Looked like Simpler took a little bit too long to come set for Smith's liking, and he will dig back in now with the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Foyle on second, Nick Dunn aboard first base for Brewster. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It's hit hard on the ground foul, right side over toward the Whitecaps dugout on the first base side. 1-2 the count. Simpler is originally from Delaware. He's a rising senior. He's going to ETSU, East Tennessee State University, where he had a 3.99 ERA exclusively as a starter for ETSU this past spring. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It's fouled away toward the right side, so we'll do it again. Connor Smith has just, you've been talking about Nick Dunn's consistency as an infielder. Connor Smith is one of those guys that's found his role on the Whitecaps. He's not a guy who's going to hit the ball very hard. He's not a guy who's going to swing for the fences. He's just going to hustle and try and get on base in any way he can. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Smith. It bounces in front of Radzewicz. Nice block. Again, we've seen a lot of those. Both catchers getting beaten up so far in this ball game, but he is able to keep that one under control. So 2-2 is now the count on the Western Michigan Bronco, Connor Smith. First and second, one man out for Brewster. Coming set now is the pitcher Simpler. And here comes the 2-2 from the righty. It's hit hard into center field. Moving back a bit is the center fielder Atwood, but he's underneath it now, and he makes the catch for out number 2. A routine fly ball off the bat of Smith. The runners don't move anywhere, and that's the second out of the 5th inning.
You mentioned, Carter, that he's not going to hit the ball very hard, and that's what you got to try and prevent if you're Connor Smith. You're probably not going to drive it out of the ballpark, so keep the ball low, line drives, ground balls. That's where you're going to get on base. You're not really going to get on if you keep lifting the ball up in the air. So Connor Smith, you mentioned, knows his role, knows what he's capable of. Everyone's going to fly out every once in a while, but if you're Connor Smith, you got to try and keep the ball low and use that speed to get on base.
Now here's a guy who knows a thing or two about hitting the ball hard. Chandler Taylor digging in from the left side for the Whitecaps. The first pitch is a breaking ball that misses up and away, so 1-0. The count on the man from University of Alabama. Whitecaps are trailing in this game 4-3. The Braves are ahead. We're in the top of inning number 5. First and second, and 2 men out for Taylor. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. It misses low, so the count is 2-0. A bit more patient are the Whitecaps toward the end of this frame. Saw some aggressive swinging against the Brave starter Hoeing in the first 4 innings of this ball game. 2-0 is the count on Chandler Taylor. Here comes the pitch. It's hit high in the air, a sky-high fly ball toward right center field. Moving over a bit to his left is Atwood, and he is underneath it, and he will make the catch after what seemed like forever. That baseball took a long time to come down, but it did find its way into Atwood's glove, and that retires the side in the top of the 5th. So the Whitecaps threaten but do not score. They get no runs on 1 hit. They leave 2 runners on. At the end of 4.5 innings of play, halfway through a regulation game here in Bourne, it's 4-3 Braves. You're listening to Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball. Here are Carter Wedeel and Aiden Doyle. Back here in Bourne, we're starting the bottom of the 5th inning. It's the 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up for the Braves against Bradley Spooner, starting with the lefty Grant Williams, who takes the pitch up and away to start things off for him. The score is Bourne 4, Brewster 3 as we start the bottom of the 5th. Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Williams. It misses low, so it's 2-0 now to Grant Williams. Williams walked in the first inning and then came around to score after singling in the third. 2-0 pitch. Misses up high, so quickly ahead in the count, 3-0 is Grant Williams. Williams out of Kennesaw State, a Cape League All-Star. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. It is grooved in there for a strike on the inner edge, so it's 3-1 now on Williams. Rising junior from Dunwoody, Georgia. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. Another strike on the inner edge, so it's 3-2. Another off-speed pitch there from Bradley Spooner. And the count is full, 3-2. Looks like Jonathan Stever is starting some soft tosses in the Brewster pen. The 3-2 pitch is hit hard on the ground to second base. It's fielded over there by Nick Dunn. He throws to Cahagan for out number 1 of the bottom of the 5th. Nice job by Spooner, working back from falling behind in that count to wind up getting a routine ground ball. That's out number 1.
You took the words right out of my mouth there, Carter. You know, Spooner falling behind. That seems to be a bit of an issue when he's giving up these hits. He's getting behind in the count and then having to try and groove a pitch in, and he doesn't have that untouchable stuff where if he's throwing one or if he makes a mistake, his stuff won't make up for it. So he's really got to locate well.
Here's the righty Lyle Lynn. First pitch swing, ground ball to third base. Malfetta scoops it on a tricky hop and throws across the diamond for out number 2. Just what the doctor ordered for Bradley Spooner. Gets a first pitch out, and quickly there are 2 gone in the bottom of the 5th.
Exactly what the doctor ordered. Nice breaking ball there from Spooner. Lynn not getting a very good piece of it right off the end of the bat, just hitting on the ground towards Malfetta. The only real tricky part about it, like you mentioned, is maybe a tough hop for the Stanford third baseman.
Yeah, it looked like Lynn wasn't expecting that breaking ball, despite the fact that it was right there in the middle of the plate. So he kind of got the wood on it, but couldn't hit it very hard. Anyway, here's Grant Witherspoon. The pitch to the lefty misses down and in. That one nearly hit his toes there, and in fact, he's taken off the guard. He believes it did hit his toes, and they're going to signal that he will get first base. So that was a breaking ball. That must have just dropped right on the top of his outer foot, the right foot for the lefty hitter. One of the stranger hit-by pitches you'll see, but Witherspoon is aboard with 2 men out.
Must have just grazed it, too, because Coons was able to backhand pick that as well. It didn't take a weird hop where it threw Coons off, and I think he's disagreeing now with Larry Rosenberg, saying, hey, that did not hit him. And Jamie Shevchik from the top step of the dugout is also voicing his displeasure with the call.
Yeah, Coons shaking his head while talking to the home plate ump Rosenberg. So here is Jared Triolu, and the runner goes for second base. First pitch is up high, but throw down to second is in time. They got him. Well, for Justin Coons, that's how you make amends on a call you disagree with. You go ahead and throw him out. The second time that Justin Coons has caught a runner stealing in as many innings here in Bourne. A very quick 5th inning as Spooner faces the minimum, nothing across for the Braves in the bottom of the 5th. At the end of 5, it's 4-3 Braves. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. We're back in Bourne. We apologize for the little hiccup there. We just had to reboot our system. We are in the top of the 6th. Marty Costas worked a leadoff walk for Brewster, so he's aboard first base. And the first pitch is on its way to Justin Coons from Simpler, and it just misses to make the count 1 ball and no strikes. Again, that trademark tight strike zone showing up for Larry Rosenberg behind the plate. We're in the top of the 6th. The Braves lead the Whitecaps 4-3. Brewster trying to even up the score here. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. It's cut on and missed. Out in front of that off-speed pitch was Coons. It was also, I think, above the zone when Coons chased after it. So 1-1 is the count on the man from Gardner-Webb. Coons so far today, a strikeout and a double play ground ball that did allow a run to come home. That was the second run of the game for Brewster as they check on Costas at first base, and diving back safely is the Maryland Terrapin. Costas always takes an aggressive lead over there at first base. Was caught stealing earlier in this ball game. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. It misses outside, so the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Did have a stolen base last night, did Marty Costas last night in Wareham. And again, takes that aggressive lead with the count 2-1 on the righty hitting Justin Coons. Simpler holds the set and checks the runner at first. Diving back again is Costas, as the first baseman Lyle Lynn had to work to maintain his balance while trying to plant the glove down. Waiting on a 2-1 pitch here to Coons, and it is cut on and missed for strike 2. Another one up above the zone. That was what fooled Justin Coons on his first strikeout as well, was a pitch that up above the zone, then swung and missed at a slider, foul, tipped it for strike 3. That's how Coons' day has gone so far at the plate. 2-2 is the count. And here comes the pitch. Just misses up and away. Routes to which the catcher did his best to pull that baseball back into the strike zone, but to no avail. Didn't get the call from Rosenberg. So the count is full now on Coons. Casas aboard first base. It's Braves 4, Whitecaps 3 in the top of the 6th. The pitch is fouled off of the knob of the bat. The count will remain 3-2. Coons kind of checked his swing there. That one ran up and hit it right off the knob of the bat and went all the way back to the backstop behind the plate. So a unusual foul ball, but the count is full, 3-2 still. No argument from anybody there. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Runner going for second. The pitch is cut on and missed. The throw down to second base is not in time. Safe at second is Marty Costas. Coons again was chasing a high fastball, so he strikes out for the second time in this ball game, but Costas gets his 6th stolen base of the season.
Yeah, that's been the pitch that's gotten Coons, whether it be to strike him out or get him swinging earlier in the count. It's that high fastball, whether it be from Simpler or Hoeing. That's been that high heater, maybe even out of the zone. He's chased it a few times. That high fastball always looks better to hitters than it really is.
So that'll bring up Christian Malfetta for the Brewster Whitecaps, with Costas aboard second base and 1 man out. That was the first strikeout for Ryan Simpler since he entered this game in the 5th. Hoeing went 4 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 1 walk, and 4 Ks for the Braves in his first start on the Cape this season. Holding the set is Simpler. Here comes the pitch to Malfetta, and the righty takes it in there for a called strike on the outside corner to make the count 0-1 on the man from Stanford. So far for Malfetta today, he singled in a run his last time up. That was in the 4th inning. That was a runner on third and 2 outs. He was able to come through and get the big hit for the Whitecaps. It was an important one. Cut this Braves lead to 4-3 where it currently stands. And with Costas having some speed in scoring position at second, a chance for Malfetta to tie this ball game up. The 0-1 pitch is in there for a called strike at the letters on an off-speed pitch out of the hand of Ryan Simpler. And the count is 0-2. They mentioned that Jonathan Stever was getting loose in the Whitecaps bullpen before. It looks like things have quieted down out there in the bullpen beyond the right field fence after a very quick 5th inning for Bradley Spooner. So we could see some more Spooner in the bottom of inning number 6. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. It's hit hard on the ground, right side, moving over. A nice sliding play moving to his left from the second baseman, Williams. He throws across in time for the out at first base. A terrific play from Williams, sliding across the dirt to backhand that baseball. That's out number 2. Costas moves over to third.
Well, for a second there, it looked like Christian Malfetta had his second hit of the ballgame, but a nice play from Grant Williams at second base, sliding to his left. That's not easy at all. And then to get up and make a strong, accurate throw to get Malfetta at first base, who's got pretty good wheels.
And now it looks like heading out of the dugout is Harvey Shapiro, the coach of the Braves, in his 13th year, heading out to with his hurler Simpler. There is action out in the pen, and we'll see if this will be the end of the day for Simpler. Stiltskin's discussing with Okay, we're back here in Bourne. Darius Hill is out at the plate. The new pitcher is Chad Linsman, and the pitch to Hill is a strike on the outer edge to the lefty swinging man from West Virginia. For Linsman, this is appearance number 10. Cape League this year, thrown 15 2/3 to the tune of a 287 earned run average. Casas is at third. The pitch move is outside. 1-1, the count on Darius Hill. It is Braves 4, Whitecaps 3. In the top of the 6th inning here at Doran Park, 1-1 pitch. I'll tip into the mitts of Radzowicz, so it's 1-2 now on Hill. Casas a very important run over at third, but tying run for does have plenty of speed. 1-2 is the count on Hill. Back in Bourne, starting the bottom of the 6th inning, and the first pitch high in the air off the bat of Triolo, and the first baseman Gahagan moves a couple of steps into foul ground and catches it to retire Triolo, and that is the first out of the bottom of inning number 6. The score is Braves 4, Whitecaps 3 here at Doran Park in Bourne. Carter Woodeel and Aiden Doyle here with you. Thank you so much for tuning. Jamison Hanna will now dig in for the Braves. He is 1 for 2. Spooner is still on the mound for Brewster. The pitch goes bunt, takes it up and in. And the count is 1-0 on Jamison Hanna. Hanna singled in the second and hit it hard to center field, but was retired after Casas was able to get to it. The 1-0 pitch is hit hard into right field for a base hit into right center, rolling into the gap in right center field. The center fielder Casas will cut it off, but digging for 2 is Hanna. He slides head first into second base and is in there safely with a double. Nicely done by Jamison Hanna. So a runner in scoring position now with 1 man out for Bourne.
Yeah, Hanna hit that ball hard, and if his last at-bat, actually, the fly ball to center field, he also gave a ride out there, just was able to run that one down, but that one, just a line drive in the gap between right and center, so into the right center field gap, and into second base. A good throw there from Marty Casas to make it a somewhat close play, but off the bat, that had extra bases written all over it.
Runner on second base, 1 man out. Now it's Andrew Freejay's turn. Freejay hitting from the right side against the righty Spooner, who spins around to step off the bag and check on the runner, Jamison Hanna. Hanna does have some speed to him. 7 out of 8 stealing bases this year for the Bourne Braves. And Justin Coons will go out and say a couple of words to Spooner and now return to his spot behind home plate. It's 4-3. Bourne is on top of the Whitecaps here. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning at Doran Park in Bourne. Freejay's 1 for 2 with an infield single today. Here comes the pitch. It's a breaking ball, cut on and missed. Way out in front of that one was Freejay. You could tell Coons liked the pitch. He whipped it back to Spooner as soon as he got it in the glove. So it's 0-1. Now on Andrew Freejay. Holding the set is Spooner with the count 0-1. Checks the run and deals. Another breaking ball. That one misses low. And again, a nice job by Justin Coons to block it. A very slow breaking ball out of the hand of the man from Saddleback Community College, Bradley Spooner. 1-1 the count. Spooner holding the set once more. Here comes the pitch. It's hit high in the air towards shallow right field. Coming in is the right fielder Darius Hill. Still coming in. Looks like he's under it, and he makes the catch for out number 2. So just got underneath that one a little bit, did Andrew Freejay. Did look like Spooner might have left that one over the plate, but Freejay unable to do anything more than just lift it out to right field. Runner stays put at second base with 2 men out. And now it's Kevin Radzowicz's turn. There is action again in the bullpen for Brewster. It does look like Jonathan Stever is the one that has gone out to start off his work once again. Pitch to the righty swinging Kevin Radzowicz is a breaking ball dropped in there for strike number 1. Nicely done again by Spooner, using that slow bender effectively here in this 6th frame. Trying to preserve. It's 4-3 Bourne on 6. 0-1 pitch is hit high in the air to left field. Moving back is the left fielder heading back toward the wall. He's looking up and he makes the catch. Nice play by Devin Foyle out there in left field. That was a hanging breaking ball. But Radzowicz unable to put enough charge into it, and that retires the side. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 left for Bourne in the bottom of the 6th. We're through 6 innings of play here at Doran Park, and the home team is ahead 4-3 Braves on the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Back here at Doran Park for the top of the 7th inning. It'll be 8, 9, and 1 due up for the Brewster Whitecaps. Zach Gahagan, Devin Foyle, and Nick Dunn due up for Brewster. 4-3 the score. Bourne leads the Whitecaps. Aiden Doyle alongside Carter Woodeel. And the first pitch to Gahagan, a fastball that just misses below the knees for ball 1. Gahagan today 0 for 2, grounded out to short in his first at-bat before popping out the second for the first out of the 5th inning. And the pitch from Linsman, a fastball that misses downstairs, now 2-0 on Gahagan.
Final line on Simpler went an inning and 2/3, gave up 1 hit, no runs allowed. He walked 2 and struck out 1.
Linsman came out for the third out of the top of the 6th inning and got Darius Hills to strike out looking as Zach Gahagan lines a single to right field. That gets down in front of Grant Witherspoon. And so Zach Gahagan picks up his first hit of the evening, and the Whitecaps have the lead forward here in the top of the 7th.
It's good to see Gahagan hit the ball hard. I mean, he was brought in. You know, Jamie Shevchik has talked about how important he is off the field to help with team chemistry, but on the field he struggled a little bit, and right there put the wood to the horse side quite nicely.
Now Devin Foyle, switch hitting left fielder, steps in, batting left-handed against the right-handed throwing Linsman. As Gahagan leads off of first, Foyle shows bunt but takes it back as Linsman misses high and outside with a fastball. Foyle today 1 for 2, had a double in his last at-bat, just kind of lined one down the first base line, took a weird hop on Lyle Lynn and bounced over his head and went into the right field corner. Foyle drops down the bunt to third base, fielded by the third baseman Triolo. Throw on to first in time, but Foyle does his job and moves Zach Gahagan the second.
That was a terrific job by Triolo to run up and get that bunt, because that was a beauty from Devin Foyle. But you're right, Aiden is able to do what he was asked to do, and now it's the top of the order coming in. They have a couple of cracks at time this game, effectively.
Nick Dunn digging in from the left side for the Whitecaps. Dunn today 1 for 2. Led off the game with a stand-up double to center field, would eventually come around to score on a Bourne Wild pitch. Then struck out swinging in the third before reaching on a walk in his last plate appearance. That came in the 5th inning. Bats here with a runner in scoring position, 1 down, top of the 7th inning. Gahagan leading off of second base represents the tying run for the Whitecaps. As Linsman comes set. And the first pitch to Dunn. Breaking ball that misses down and away for ball 1. Linsman, the right-hander out of the University of Nebraska, making his 10th appearance for the Braves this summer. As the 1-0 pitch to Dunn. Fastball line to the left field, charging into the left fielder. Hanna, and it'll drop in front of him. They're waving home Gahagan. Nope, they're stopping him there. The throw from the cutoff man. They say they got him. Zach Gahagan took a big turn around third base before the stop sign from Ryan Smythe was thrown up. Gahagan stumbled a bit trying to get back to the bag, dove back, and the throw came in to the cutoff man, who then threw the ball to Triola at third base, who applied the tag to Gahagan. And Zach Gahagan is still arguing with Ronaldo Cockrum, saying, I got my hand in there. And Ronaldo Cockrum says, no, you did not. So Nick Dunn with a single, but Gahagan thrown out of third.
Boy, Ronaldo Cockrum and Brewster Whitecaps base runners are not getting along tonight. We saw Costas get caught stealing in a similar way earlier in this ball game where they said he overslid the bag.
As the first pitch to Connor Smith misses down and away for ball 1.
And they're a very strange play for Zach Gahagan.
But now 2 outs, runner at first for the Whitecaps. And the 1-0 pitch, fastball that hits Connor Smith. Connor Smith hit by a fastball right in about where the bicep is. And he'll head on down to first base. And now Chandler Taylor digs in with 2 outs and 2 men aboard for the Whitecaps. Chandler today 0 for 2. Struck out swinging in his first at-bat. Then reached on a walk in the 4th inning and would come around to score before flying out to center field to end the 5th. Runner in scoring position here for Taylor. 2 outs, top of the 7th inning. 4-3 the score. Bourne leads Brewster. Taylor getting the start at designated hitter today for the Whitecaps out of the University of Alabama. And the first pitch from Linsman Off speed that misses high and outside for ball one. Taylor certainly capable of giving the Whitecaps the lead with one swing, although I'm sure all Whitecaps fans would be certainly satisfied with an RBI single, as he takes a home run cut there at a fastball from Linsman, but swings right through it, and the count evens at 1-1. Marty Costas waiting on deck for the Whitecaps. Nick Dunn leading off of second, Connor Smith off of first, as Chandler Taylor digs back in. Linsman comes set, and the 1-1 pitch. Fastball hit in the air out to left field. Moving towards the line is Jamison Hanna. He's at the track, he's at the wall, and that ball is gone! Chandler Taylor with one swing of the bat gives the Whitecaps a 6-4 lead here in the top of the 7th inning. In back-to-back nights, Chandler Taylor with a big home run in a situation in which the Whitecaps were trailing 5-4. This one a 3-run shot, both of them to opposite field, and just like that, the Brewster Whitecaps take a 4 lead.
Well, that is what Chandler Taylor does. He has had so many important hits for the Whitecaps, and another one in true fashion. I mean, that was the opposite way from Taylor, and that still was cleared the bullpen out there down the left field line. A terrific piece of hitting from Chandler Taylor.
Yeah, that one landed on top of the batting cages out beyond the left field fence. As the first pitch now to Marty Costas misses in the dirt for ball one. Oh, Brewster now leads this one 6-4 with 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning. As Marty Costas lines one into right field, that'll get down for a base hit. Marty Costas picks up his 3rd hit of the ball game. He's reached in all 4 plate appearances. And the Whitecaps, another hit, and they've got a man aboard with 2 outs. Now Justin Coons digging in for the Whitecaps. He's over 3 today. Right-handed hitting catcher out of Gardner-Webb. New pitcher on the mound for the Brewster Whitecaps as we move to the bottom of the 7th inning. Jonathan Stever takes over for Bradley Spooner. 6-4 the score here at Doran Park. Whitecaps on top of the Bourne Braves, courtesy of a 3-run home run from Chandler Taylor in the top of the 7th inning. Aiden Doyle alongside Carter Woodeel here on the Whitecaps Radio Network. And Stever's first pitch to Andy Atwood, the number 9 hitter in this Braves lineup. Fastball in for strike 1. Now the 0-1 pitch from Stever. Fastball misses down and away, evens the count at 1-1. Atwood today, no official at-bats. Both of his plate appearances have he's reached via the walk as Stever misses down and away in the dirt. With the fastball now 2-1. So you got to believe, based off of precedent, that streak will end, considering Stever has yet to issue a walk in the Cape League. As this one's driven out to left field. This one on the run is Devin Foyle. He's on the track, he's at the wall, and that ball is gone. A home run for Andy Atwood. And now it's a 1-run game here. So Chandler Taylor with a 3-run shot in the top of the Andy Atwood with a solo home run here to start things off in the bottom of the 7th. And now it's a 6-5 game here at Doran Park.
Boy, talk about an unlikely hero. No home runs for Atwood this season on the Cape. Only had 1 for State this past spring, but that was a no-doubter over the left field wall.
And Foyle gave it a look, got all as far as he could, but ran out of room quickly. And now it's 6-5 here in the top of the Braves lineup coming in. And Richie Palacios, who looks at a first pitch fastball from Stever on the inside part for strike 1. Now the 0-1 pitch from Stever, a fastball. Palacios shows bunt, but takes it back as Stever paints the outside corner. Now 0-2 on the Bourne designated hitter. Stever working quickly, and the 0-2 pitch. Fastball just misses down and away. 1-2 now the count. So 6-5 the score here. Nobody out, bottom of the 7th inning. It's a fastball from Stever. Misses off the inner part of the plate. Evens count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Stever looking into the catcher, Coons. Shakes off the first sign, now gets what he wants. And a 2-2 fastball just misses downstairs as home plate umpire Larry Rosenberg. And the count runs full. Stever through the windup and the 3-2 pitch. Fastball just got a piece of it. Justin Coons unable to hang on, so the count stays full. We'll do it again here in Bourne. Stever really working quickly. There's one, caught on and missed. Coons able to hang on. And Richie Palacios goes down swinging for out number 1.
Well, Stever just did something that Bradley Spooner was not able to do in his 6 innings of work. Strike out a batter. Spooner went 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, all earned. He walked 3, and big old goose egg in the strikeouts column. Also hit a batter. Really a terrific performance, I think, from Bradley Spooner, especially knowing that he needed to get some length going 6 innings.
And the number 2 hitter, Grant Williams, steps in. First pitch swinging, lifts one in the air to shallow center field. Coming on is Marty Costas. And it's a miscommunication between Costas and Foyle, and that one will drop. Grant Williams hustling around first base. He's into second. And so that one will likely go as a double for Williams, but a miscommunication. Costas was charging. Foyle thought Costas had it, and at the last second, Costas peeled off. Must have thought he heard Foyle call it or something. But that one drops in between the left fielder and the center fielder. And with 1 out, the Bourne Braves have the tying run in scoring position.
And it's not just the time run scoring position, but also Lyle Lynn is digging in, one of the tougher hitters to deal with in this Braves lineup. And that's tough out there in the outfield. You're right. I think that the most likely explanation is that Costas thought he heard something from Foyle. But in any case, that dropped with not very close to either of those players.
And now the number 3 hitter, Lyle Lynn, digging in, first baseman out of Arizona State. 1 out, bottom of the 7th inning, runner on second base is Williams. He's the tying, or he represents the tying run. As the first pitch to Lynn, a fastball in the lower part of the zone for strike 1. Stever working out of the stretch. Comes set, and the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball hit on the ground, past the diving Gahagan and into right field. Charging his Hill, they're waving home. Williams, the throw from Darius will be cut off, and this game is tied on an RBI single from Lyle Lynn. So that miscommunication out in the outfield comes back to haunt the Whitecaps. And just like that, this game's knotted at 6.
Yeah, it's not an error in the box score, but it's another defensive miscue for Brewster, something that I both know Jamie Shevchik and his coaching staff have been doing to try and minimize all season long. That's a tough way to, after you get your home run hitter Chandler Taylor smacks a dinger out to give you the lead. It's tough to have to cough it up in a shutout inning and have a defensive miscue be part of it.
And so moving to the top of the 8th inning here at Doran Park. 6-6 the score between the Braves and the Whitecaps. Aiden Doyle alongside Carter Woodhill here on the Whitecaps radio network. It'll be 6, 7, and 8 for the Whitecaps. Christian Molfetta, Darius Hill, and Zach Hagen against Chad Linsman. Molfetta today, 1 for 3. Did have an RBI single and looks at a first pitch fastball from Linsman on the outside corner for strike 1. Right up here as Darius Hill waits on deck. The sun has completely gone down here in Bourne. Lights are on at Doran Park as a breaking ball from Linsman misses below the knees. Now 1-1 on Molfetta. One pitch on its way. Another off speed. This one catches the inside corner. Molfetta didn't like the call from Larry Rosenberg, but the count now 1-2 with nobody out here in the top of the 8th. Linsman out of the stretch, ready, and the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball just misses below the knees to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Whitecaps led this game 6-4 heading into the bottom of the 7th inning. Then a home run from Andy Atwood and a Lyle Lynn RBI single hit as Molfetta chases the fastball downstairs for strike 3. Molfetta down swinging for 1.
Great sequence there from Linsman to get Molfetta. I know Molfetta, when he took that pitch for a ball 2, kind of took a couple of steps back, and I half hoping that it was called a ball and not a strike. So good location throughout that at-bat, including on the breaking pitch that got Molfetta swinging.
Now Darius Hill digging in from the left side for the Whitecaps. First switch swinging, lines one into right field. That'll get down for a base hit. Cutting it off is Andy Atwood. Hill with a big turnaround first base, but he'll retreat back to the bag. And the Whitecaps single off the bat of Darius Hill.
Just what you need if you're Brewster, a hard hit single, and now it's Hill's job to kind of get over to second base in any way he can. A big spot here for Zach Hagen.
You mentioned it, Carter. Zach Hagen digging in from the right side for the Whitecaps. 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning. Man aboard first is Darius Hill. Hagen today 1 for 3, singled in his last at bat, a hard hit ball to right field that got down for a single. And the first pitch from Linsman, breaking ball in for a strike on the inside part of the plate. Hagen getting the start at first base today for the Whitecaps, hailing from the University of North Carolina. 0-1 pitch, another breaking ball, chopped foul down the third base line. Suddenly the count 0-2 on Hagen. Devin Foyle waiting on deck. 6-6 the score here in Bourne. 0-2 the count on Gahagan, and the pitch. Fastball misses down and away, kind of squirted out of the glove of Radzewicz for a second. Not far away enough so that Hill could advance, though. So the count now 1-2 on the Brewster first baseman. Righty-righty matchup. Linsman looking into Radzewicz, comes set, and now Gahagan will call time. Linsman working out of the stretch, ready, and the 1-2 pitch. Hit on the ground over his head. Charging is the shortstop, Freejay. Throw on to first base, takes the first baseman, Lynn off the bag, and the first base umpire, Sam Finn, will say Lynn was not able to apply the tag, so Gahagan will reach. Hill moves to second, and the go-ahead runs in scoring position for the Whitecaps.
Well, that was a great effort from the shortstop, Freejay, to throw across his body, but just not quite able to get that one over, and a good hustle play by Zach Gahagan. We've seen a few of those from both teams today. We've seen a lot of infield singles in this ball game, and now a big spot for here.
A big spot from Foyle indeed, and the Bourne Braves pitching coach will have a chat with Linsman out on the mound. Foyle today, 1 for 2. Had a sacrifice bunt in his last at-bat, so that does not count as an at-bat. But in the at-bat prior to that, had a double down the right field line.
It really seems like the last 4 innings of this ball game have been so different from the first 2.5, 3 innings that we had. We saw a lot of balls in play, a lot of hitters being aggressive in the first few frames, and then this game sort of lengthened out, and it's kind of turned into almost a chess match here as each of these teams kind of exchange runs. Not the game that Bourne is used to being a part of. We talked about how their offense is kind of their weakness as a team. They win with pitching and D, and yet they're here near kind of a mini slugfest.
Whitecaps with 13 hits, the Braves with 11. And now the pitching coach has retreated back to the dugout. First pitch to Devin Foyle. Fastball that misses down and away for ball 1. Foyle, like I mentioned, 1 for 2 on the day. Average up to 186 on the season. Top of the order, and Nick Dunn waits on deck as Foyle hits one on the ground hard towards second, fielded by Williams. Flip to second in time, will not make the throw over to first base. They actually throw over to third, trying to catch Darius Hill too far off the bag, but he gets back safely. So they get Gahagan with the 4-6 force out at second, but the go-ahead runs at third base for the Whitecaps with 2 outs and Nick Dunn stepping into the box.
Yeah, who else would you rather have up in this spot for Brewster? I mean, there's a reason why Nick Dunn is still in the lineup despite the fact that a lot of the reserves are playing. He's been so consistent for Brewster, and now up at the top of the order, and this is an important at-bat for him.
Nick Dunn 2 for 3 on the day, and now looks like Harvey Shapiro will take a slow walk out to the mound. There is some action in the Bourne Braves bullpen. No signal yet from Shapiro, as third base coach Ryan Smythe will call over Devin Foyle at first base to have a chat between Foyle, Hill, and Smythe. And it looks like that'll be it for Chad Linsman. So a pitching change for the Bourne Braves here with 2 outs in the top of the 8th inning. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll get set on who the new arm is for the Braves. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Brewster Whitecaps Radio Network. New arm in the game is P.J. Poulin, a lefty out of the University of Connecticut. He's had a great season so far for the Bourne Braves. 12 appearances. He's 2-1 with a 1.96 ERA, 19 strikeouts and 18 1/3 innings. He inherits runners on first and third, a 6-6 ball game here at Doran Park, and he faces the top of the Whitecaps order in Nick Dunn. Lefty-lefty matchup here. And the first pitch from Poulin on its way. Breaking ball in there for strike one. Dunn today 2 for 3. Doubled in the first inning. Came around to score on a wild pitch. And then singled in the 7th and would eventually come around to score on the Chandler Taylor 3-run home run. So does have a couple of runs scored. Behind in the count 0-1 as Poulin kicks and delivers. Fastball down and away. Good stop there by Radzewicz to keep it in front of him, and the count evens at 1-1. With the 2 hits today, Dunn has raised his average all the way up to .330 on the season. Has reached on a walk as well. As Poulin comes set. And the 1-1 pitch. Another breaking ball. This one misses below the knees. Now 2-1 on Dunn. Poulin has faced these Whitecaps before, coming on June 25th, back in part of that double header at Stony Brook Field. Went 2 1/3, gave up 2 earned runs, just 1 hit. Control was his issue. Walked 3 batters and struck out 4. As a 2-1 pitch on its way, breaking ball hit right back up the middle, ranging to his right and into center field. So Nick Dunn with an RBI single, his 3rd hit of the game, and the Whitecaps retake the lead at 7-6. Not a very hard hit ball from Nick Dunn, but put it in the exact right spot, right back up the middle and out of the reach of the second baseman Williams. And just like that, Whitecaps 7 and the Braves 6.
Yeah, a little 11 hopper, right? In baseball, sometimes that's all you need. Just hopped over the second base bag, as you said, Aiden. And Nick Dunn has definitely put the work in to get a couple of bounces here and there. Got one there. And the Whitecaps now are got to be focused on protecting this lead. And I'm sure some insurance runs would be a very welcome sight for Connor Smith, who's had a great day today.
And now Connor Smith digging in. 1 for 3, does have a couple of runs scored. Singled in the 4th inning. Was hit by a pitch in his last plate appearance. Whitecaps on top, 7-6 here with 2 outs in the top of the 8th inning. P.J. Poulin still on the mound. Runners still on the corners as Foyle was able to move to 3rd on the Nick Dunn RBI single. And the first pitch from Poulin to Smith, fastball that misses down and in for ball 1. Poulin comes set. Kicks and the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball misses down and in, gets away from Radzewicz for a second, but recovers in time, and the count moves to 2-0. Poulin looking into Radzewicz. Now ready. And the 2-0 pitch. Fastball right on the inside corner for strike 1, says home plate umpire Larry Rosenberg. That one just painted the inner black for the strike. Chandler Taylor waiting on deck for the Whitecaps. 2-1 the count to Connor Smith. 2 outs, top of the 8th inning. And the pitch from P.J. Poulin. Another fastball on the inside corner to even the count at 2-2. Poulin doing a great job painting that inside corner to the right-handed hitting Smith. And the count now even and 2, so Poulin 1 strike away from stranding runners at the corners for the Whitecaps. And he kicks in the 2-2 on its way. Breaking ball downstairs, chopped foul though by Smith, and stays alive. Count remains 2-2. Smith digging back into the right-handed batter's box after the ball is retrieved by a member of the Braves. 2-2 count. Poulin comes set. Dunn leading off of Foyle off of third, and the pitch. Fastball misses inside. They faked the throw as Dunn took off for second. Foyle didn't get too far off of third, so Dunn into second base. And now there's 2 runners in scoring position for the Whitecaps.
That's an important stolen base for Dunn, his second of the season. Doesn't really change how Smith's going to approach things, but now it could be 2 insurance runs instead of 1 if Connor Smith can line a base hit into the outfield.
Full count, 2 outs, runners on second and third for the Whitecaps. P.J. Poulin comes set, and the payoff pitch. Off-speed pitch fouled off by Smith into the netting just before the Whitecaps dugout, so Smith does a good job staying alive, and the count is still full. Right-handed hitting Smith against the left-handed throwing Poulin. 7-6 the score. Whitecaps on top of the Braves. Nick Dunn put the Whitecaps on top with an RBI single in the last at-bat. As the payoff pitch from Poulin, fastball cut on and miss. He got Smith swinging, and so that's it for the top of the 8th inning. But the Whitecaps retake the lead on a Nick Dunn RBI single to center field. They get 1 run on 3 hits. No errors, and they leave 2 on. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Whitecaps on top 7-6 here at Doran Park. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Back here at Doran Park in Bourne as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Jonathan Stever back out on the mound for the Brewster Whitecaps. 7-6 the score. Whitecaps lead the Bourne Braves here at Doran Park. Stever will be facing the bottom of the Braves order here in the bottom of the 8th. First pitch to the number 7 hitter, Andrew Freejay, a fastball that misses upstairs for ball 1. Freejay today 1 for 3, singled in the 4th inning and was caught stealing second, though, as he drives this one into center field. On the run is Marty Costas, and he makes the grab just shy of the warning track out in left center. Nice running play from Marty Costas for out number 1. Andrew Freejay gave it a ride, but just allowed out here to start things off in the bottom of the 8th.
Tell you what, for Marty, just the one big mistake out there with that miscommunication between him and Devin Foyle in that 7th inning. But other than that, it's been a terrific day for him out in center field. Not usually where he is. Usually it's Walker or Bishop out there for Brewster, but both of those guys getting the night off. And he's done a pretty good job with a lot of hard-hit baseballs coming his way.
Now the first pitch to the number 8 hitter, Kevin Radzewicz, in there for a strike. Fastball from Stever on the outside corner. Radzewicz today 1 for 3, singled in his first at-bat, but has been held hitless since with a couple of flyouts, 1 to left, 1 to center. As the 0-1 pitch. Fastball, just got a piece of it, did Radzewicz. Count now 0-2. Radzewicz, the catcher out of Fairfield University, came into the game batting 148 on the season in 14 contests. 7-6 the score here in Bourne. Whitecaps lead the Bourne Braves. A combined 6 runs have been scored in the last inning and a half between these two teams. 4 by the Whitecaps, 2 by the Braves. This is one flying into center field. That'll get down for a base hit in front of Marty Costas. Kevin Radzewicz picks up his second hit of the ball game, and the Braves have a runner on with out here in the bottom of the 8th.
You could tell Mari Costas when he was first charging in thought he might have had a play on it, but had to play that one on a hop. Couldn't quite get to it. Nice piece of hitting from Radzowicz.
And now the number 9 hitter, Andy Atwood, who has not played the role of number 9 hitter tonight. He's 1 for 1, has reached twice on a walk, or on walks, and in his bat hit a home run to left center field. He looks at a first pitch fastball from Jonathan Stever in for strike 1. So Atwood, typically known for the glove, but getting it done with the bat tonight at Doran Park. He represents the go-ahead run at the plate. Tying runs at first, and Kevin Rad as an 0-1 fastball from Stever right on the outside corner, and the right-hander out of Indiana quickly ahead 0-2. Righty-righty matchup here between Stever and Atwood. As Stever comes set and 2 pitch. Goes back to the fastball but misses down and away. Now 1-2 on the Bourne center fielder. Radzowicz leading off of first. Short on by Gahagan. Stever ready and the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball cut on and missed. Atwood down swinging. He's retired for the first time today. And a big strikeout there for Jonathan Stever as we head to the top of the order. As Richie Palacios digs in for the Bourne Braves.
Yeah, able to get that typical, I don't know what to call it, misdirection or fooling the hitter there into changing speeds on him. How about the hard piece of contact for the 1 out in this frame, and then the single to center after that, but that time looking good for the strikeout. Let's see if he keeps it going.
In from the left side, looks at a first pitch fastball from misses downstairs. 1-0 the count on the Bourne designated hitter. Stever ready and the 1-0 pitch. Fastball fouled off by Palacios. Got a piece of it, and the count evens at 1-1. Whitecaps runs on 14 hits. Braves with 6 runs on 12 hits. Certainly been an offensive showcase here at Doran Park tonight. As Stever comes set and the 1-1 pitch. Fastball fouled into the netting behind home plate, and the count moves to 1-2. Radzowicz leading off of first. Stever looking into Coons behind the plate. Now comes and the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt. Good stop there by Justin Coons to hold Radzowicz at first. It's at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Stever ready. Kicks and the 2-2. Fastball lifted in the air behind home plate. Giving it a chase is Justin Coons, but he'll run out of room as that one hits the backstop. And the count stays at 2-2. Actually hit the backstop and then came down into Justin Coons. But obviously not an out.
Bet you Coons wishes that he had that one, doesn't he?
Yeah. There isn't a whole lot of room behind home plate here at Doran Park. Not quite as much as, let's say, White House Field, but not as little as McKeon Park and High. As the 2-2 from Stever. Tried to go off speed there and missed high and outside, and the count now full on Richie Palacios. Stever working quickly. Ready, and the payoff pitch. Fastball lined into left field. That one slicing away from Devin Foyle, but he's able to catch it on the run for out number 3. Nice play by Devin Foyle out and left, and we move to top of the 9th inning with the Whitecaps on top 7-6 here on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Back here in Bourne for the top of the 9th inning, Chandler Taylor, Marty Casas, and Justin Coons due up for the Whitecaps against PJ Poulin. A couple, well, actually really only one defensive change for the Bourne Braves. As the first pitch to Chandler Taylor, a breaking ball in there for strike one. Tyler Fitzgerald out of the University of Louisville takes over at shortstop for Free J. Free J replaces Grant Williams at second base, so he just slides to the right of second base and takes over there as another breaking ball to Taylor. This one misses high and outside to even the count at 1-1. And so now the count 0-2 on Coons. Poulin looking into his catcher, Radzwich. Now through the windup and the 0-2 pitch. Fastball misses high and outside. 1-2 now the count on the catcher out of Gardner-Webb. Christian Molfetta waiting on deck for the Whitecaps. 1-2 the count, and the pitch from Poulin. Breaking ball in there, strike three. 7-6 the score. Brewster leads Bourne here as we move to the bottom of the 9th. And it looks like pinch hitter for the Bourne Braves. Skyber takes over for 2 spot in the Bourne lineup, replacing Tyler Fitzgerald as a defensive replacement, it seems, from Stever in there for strike one on the inside corner. Stever working quickly. 0-1 breaking ball down and in, evens the count at 1-1. Schreiber, a right-handed hitter out of the University of Nebraska, batting .234 on the season and 30. Does have 2 home runs on the year. Takes a big cut at that one down in the zone. Swung right through it, though, and the count now 1-2. Stever looking into Justin Coons. That's what he wants. Through the windup and pitch. Raking ball, drip. Center field on the run is Marty Costas, but that one will get down. Big turnaround first base, and he's digging for second. The throw for this is not in time. Scott Schreiber with a leadoff double. Run is in scoring position for the Bourne Braves with nobody out in the bottom of the 9th.
That was almost an incredible play from Marty Costas. I mean, it was already great for him to go and cut it off on one hop, and then the throw just a bit offline, able to get under the tag there was Schreiber. If that had been toward the bag, he would have gotten him. That throw beat him there, but he was able to just get under the tag. And now Justin Coons, as he always seems to do, Aiden, he comes out and it's after a tough spot for the pitcher, something where he's got to get over it, and Justin Coons is probably telling him that on the mound.
And now Lyle Lynn digging in for the Bourne Braves. Already has a pair of RBI on the evening so far. Each of them an RBI single. Nobody out. Tying run on second base here. The 9th, 7-6 the score. Whitecaps lead the Braves. And the first pitch to Lynn, a fastball fouled off over the first base dugout and out of play. Lynn today 2 for 4. Like I mentioned, the pair of RBI singles, a couple of ground outs. 6 innings, that's huge for this team.
Yeah, it really was a terrific performance. I know it wasn't perfect for Bradley Spooner, but it, especially given the context of this game and where his pitching staff was at. I mean, Jamie Shevchik threw the kitchen sink at the Wareham Gateman in last night's game, knowing that a playoff spot was on the line, and Bradley Spooner came into this game and put together a performance that just wiped that all away. I mean, he and Steve are used today, and now the rest of that group, when I believe it's Strybuker going out to pitch tomorrow as the starter for Brewster, they'll be able to have a pretty full staff again and try to get into the playoffs going hot. It's a really great performance for Spooner.
Yeah, Bradley Spooner able to bounce back. The final line on him, 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned, 3 walks, and no strikeouts. Jonathan Stever, the only bullpen arm that the Whitecaps used. He went 3 innings, gave up 6 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. But the offense today, 7 runs on 15 hits. A very complete performance up and down the lineup. Nick Dunn, 3 for 4 with an RBI. Chandler Taylor, his 9th home run of the year. He had 3 RBI. But then you look at the bottom of the lineup. Christian Molfetta had an RBI single. Darius Hill, 2 for 4. Zach Gahagan, 2 for 4. Devin Foyle had a double. Every Whitecaps hitter except Justin Coons got on base today and had at least one hit.
Yeah, it's been a balanced performance for the past few games. I mean, it seems like this is a repeating motif for us when we're talking about how many folks up and down the lineup have been able to contribute for Brewster. And again, that is a good sign for Jamie Shevchik's club. It really seems like things are starting to click at the right time.
We'll take a short break here from Doran Park. When we come back, more from the official postgame show of the Brewster Whitecaps. Back here at Doran Park, Whitecaps victorious 7-6 over the Bourne Braves, and the hero of the game, Nick Dunn, his RBI single in the 8th inning gave the Whitecaps that run that put them on top. Finished today 3 for 4, and our very own Morris Sheridan is standing by with Nick.
Thanks, Aiden. Well, it was your RBI single. That was the go-ahead run. What was your approach going into that at-bat?
With 2 outs, just wait for a pitch I can try and put in play hard.
Chandler Taylor and you in the lineup, kind of the only guys besides Costas that are consistently in the lineup. What was it like to see some of the guys that don't play a lot get out there and get the win for this team?
It was good. It was good to get them reps, get them at bats in the game. It was good to see them do well.
Chandler Taylor has had 2 back-to-back home runs. He has been a lot. What can you say about him and how he has performed in this season?
I mean, he's 70, and to see those guys, that says that we can rely on those guys in the playoffs. So it's, you always have an idea of what you think your best lineup is going to be, and it's never that case. A lot of it depends on who's hot at the right time. So if one or a handful of these guys can emerge as locked in going into the playoffs, and that's big for us.
Guys that are typically in the lineup like Chandler Taylor and Nick Dunn came up huge for you guys today to help get that win. What have they meant to this team throughout the season?
Those 2 guys have been amazing. I mean, guys get on base, they drive them in, they get on base for us. So that's, to have those 2 guys have been, you put Mickey in that mix, and the reason where we're at right now is because of those guys. So at this point, it's just staying loose and playing comfortable, and hopefully when we get into the playoffs that we're on our way up and we're playing our best baseball. And the more guys that we can get to play our best baseball, the better we're going to be.
And I know we talked before the game, you said you're approaching these next 5 games a little bit differently. What are you expecting as the season ends?
We're just trying to find, the guys that are dialed in, really, because eventually when we do get into the playoffs, we're going to have to pinch hit guys off the bench. We're going to have to play, make defensive substitutions. So I want to make sure that the guys that we're going to rely on coming off the bench have enough confidence, they got enough ABs, and they're gonna be able to help us out.
All right, thank you so much. Congrats on the win. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Maura. That was Whitecaps coach Jamie Shevchik. Once again, the Whitecaps victorious here at Doran Park in Bourne, 7-6 over the Bourne Braves. And Carter, he talked about Chandler Taylor, who came to this team on a temporary contract. And because Griffin Conan and Marty Bacchino were held in the ballpark tonight, is the sole leader of home runs in the Cape Cod Baseball League. He's just been incredible.
He sure has, and for a guy, we weren't sure how long he was going to stick around. I remember when Jamie Shevchik was talking to us, again, going back to post-game interview prophecies for him, talking about, well, this is the sort of the decision that keeps me up at night. We got a lot of temp players, and not all of them are going to stick around, and Chandler Taylor was able to make the cut, and boy, has he flourished since then for Brewster. That's the sort of thing that the Cape Cod League is great. You find folks that maybe you weren't sure. I mean, Chandler Taylor, when he came here, he was like, well, he got a lot of pop. He's good. He's got decent base running skills, maybe not the best defensive outfielder, and he's turned into a star with the Whitecaps.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. The number 3, from a temporary contract to the number 3 hitter, home run derby participant, and the Cape Cod Baseball League leader in home runs. How about that for Chandler Taylor? You kind of knew what you were getting with Nick Dunn. I mean, he was last year's Offensive Player of the Year for the Whitecaps and an All-Star for Brewster last season, but Chandler Taylor really been a very pleasant surprise for Coach Jamie Shevchik. But again, Whitecaps victorious 7-6 over the Bourne Braves here at Doran Park. Back-to-back road wins for Brewster against Western Division teams. Their 2 longest trips of the year, if you say, they are no longer heading out of the division to visit these Western ballparks, which I know is great for the players, but also great for us too. No more long car rides, although you live in Barnstable, so you still have to make the trip to Brewster. But a big home-and-home series coming up in the next 2 days against Whitey Red Sox. This has playoff seeding positioning written all over it.
Yep, and we'll have a TV feed coming from Lower Cape TV tomorrow at 5 o'clock for the home game, provided the weather holds up. And, yeah, it's absolutely, I mean, YD and Orleans are looking like the 2 top seeds in this Eastern Division, barring a collapse by either one of them. So for Brewster, very good chance they could play YD once the first round of the playoffs gets going. So, you know, Jamie Shepard's talking about guys that are dialed in. I mean, no better way to gauge which guys that you're coming in to face than facing the very team that you might be matched up against.
Exactly. I mean, to say that gives them a little sneak preview of the YD Red Sox in case that is indeed their first round opponent. Well, that'll just about wrap it up for the Whitecaps radio network here at Doran Park. Once again, Brewster victorious over the Bourne Braves 7-6. For Carter Woodeel and Morris Sheridan and Koki Riley, the whole member or the whole squad here for the Whitecaps media team, I'm Aiden Doyle. Thank you all for tuning in to another edition of Brewster Whitecaps Baseball here on the Brewster Whitecaps Radio Network. Thank you for listening, and have a wonderful and safe Friday night.